stretch, everybody. Toffee's not big stretching. She's looking at me like, bro, I big stretched an hour ago. You can't just do it on command. Okay. I need to test whether or not... It's been 2 weeks since I last did this, and I didn't really touch anything. So I need to make sure that all of the doodads are working. There's the bot sort of working. I still can't figure out how to make it properly ping everyone.
June_man. Why? I haven't seen you in an age. Come on in.
Hi, John. Hello.
Well, fancy meeting you here, Dragon_Diaglyph. I hope you plan to stay a while. Cube.
One thing... Cube indeed. Let me know, guys, how loud everything is. I attempted to split the audio, but I wasn't able to like test the balances on what you guys are hearing. It's a weird situation where I am not hearing the same output. I have to hear more than what you guys hear for stream purposes.
Prince Raglan. Why? I haven't seen you in an age. Come on in.
Yes, welcome. Alright. So the Cobblepod Blue Sky post worked. I just need to put this in a couple of places. It is loud for us also. Okay. Then let me lower... Oh, wait. Shit, which one is him? Is the music loud compared to my speaking, or is it Henbert that's loud? Because I can lower Henbert to that. Let me lower the music as well, just to be safe. There we go. My voice should now be the loudest thing. The music is fine. Henbert is loud. The music is so quiet. Okay, the music has now been raised. Or actually, you know what? Hold on.
Is that come and go tavern I see? Coming. Take a seat.
I see what I did. Let me open up my personal volume mixer to turn iTunes all the way the fuck down from my perception, and then turn it all the way the fuck up in the app, and then lower it ever so slightly in OBS. Can the music be louder than you, please? No, that's just mean. That's just mean. How dare you? How very dare you? Got a good job. Thank you, John.
Don't be a stranger, Imrit Behindu. Pull up a spare barrel, there's plenty of room for you.
Imrit Behindu? Imrit Behindu. So, since Henbert is now a voice bank, hosted locally on my computer, he's not as smart. The voice bank is doing exactly what it's been told without any additional stuff, because previously the voice bank was being used through a program that had, I don't even know how it was made. Like, I don't have that knowledge. But essentially, this is the raw voice bank. So some of the logic behind how it pronounces things has been lost, unfortunately. Pats him on the head. He's doing his best, but no more Jun_Monday, I don't think. I don't think he has any more of those weird logic doodads. Okay, but what if you raised the music volume and killed all the highs and middle frequencies to simulate someone hearing someone watch your stream from 2 rooms away? I don't know why that tickles me so much. That tickles me a lot. Oh, God. Junemon. That's me, says Jun. Oh, God. My intent is eventually to swap from iTunes to a radio DJ program. which will allow me to include bumpers and ads, and I plan on altering the input for that specifically so that it sounds like a radio is playing in the barn, as opposed to the music just existing on top of everything else. But that's a project for the future. So for right now, as long as the audio balances are okay, then we can continue on as planned. And actually, have you not heard that phrase, Kiwi? I am 30 or 40 years old, and somehow I keep saying things that are just normal phrases to me, but the people around me are like, that's a whole new sentence, and I have to be like, I can assure you it's not. God, what was it I said at work the other day? I can't think of it now. But no, tickled pink is like an old phrase. Wild. Yeah, it is wild. There's some phrases that like are kind of folksy and charming, but to me they're just words. They're just things you say. I don't really understand. Oh, you know what? I did forget something. Hold on. Hold on. Let me show you what I forgot. Chat. I forgot me. I'm looking at all my open programs and I'm like, something's missing. I forgot to open something. Hold on. I got the stream labels. I got SpeakerBot. I got the music going. The game's running. What could I possibly be missing? Fucking me. Hold on. All right. There I am. Oh, Lord. All right.
Is that Nightbot I see? Coming. Take a seat.
Hi, Nightbot. You still don't say the correct information in chat, but whatever. Howdy, farm hands.
Oh? Is that percent user question mark percent? So good to see you.
Oh my god, a resub from Aya, 39 months. Thank you so much. Henbert, you're supposed to say something. You're supposed to thank Aya. Why did that not trigger? Oh my, okay, so much is happening at once. Thank you so much for the resub. Also, you get to see my brand new bespoke subscription announcement.
Welcome in Trash Babia.
Hi, you get a jolly jangle of the cheer bell. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Trash baby. Yeah, no, he's trying his best. So bespoke, I know. Actually, what's really fun, and it's actually a scene on my OBS. So it's a separate scene that calls specific data from StreamerBot and then generates it very quickly. And then there's a visual turn on, turn off effect that loads it in so it slides in, then slides. Oh my god! Thank you, Blastflight, for the sub! 8 months. Thank you so much. You get a jolly jangle of the cheer bell. Thank you. Thank you. I think what I might do is have it last a little bit longer. Oh, Jesus, that's loud.
Don't be a stranger. Sound alerts. Pull up a spare barrel.
Oh,
There's
no.
plenty of room for you.
Don't say hello to the sound alerts. That's not helpful. Also, did the Donkey Kong noise go off? Did you hear the Donkey Kong noise? Okay, everyone is giving me money. Everyone is sending me bits. Why isn't the bits working? Oh my god, Boomer, you're supposed to be getting... Oh my god.
Well, I'll be. Blastflight_S. How have you been, you rascal?
Alright, hold on a second. That should be audible, though. Here, let me go to the hidden. No, I don't know why that's not working. Hold on a second. I guess we're going to fix this in between streams because the sound alerts thing sends the sound to the desktop, which I have muted because I've separated my audio otherwise. Oh, golly gee, everything is happening. Well, I still have this, which is now underneath the donation goal, so you can't even read that it says I may be stupid. And Henbert's still there. Why is Henbert still there? You're supposed to be lower than that. All right. Thank you guys all so much for the support, even if it's just to get a reaction out of me. Shit, man. Actually, did you guys hear the cowbell? Oh, you guys can't hear cowbell either. Fuck. All right, hold on a second. Properties for cowbell. You can hear cowbell. Where is cowbell coming out of then? Because it's not showing up on my... You can hear cowbell fine. Oh, I see. So, okay. So the cowbell shows up when it's turned on. Where is... There's my mic. There's the audio scene. There's the tube. There's sound alerts. Properties. There's no cowboy comes from the balls, apparently. Yeah, no, I have no audio. I have no audio options. It only plays in the desktop audio. That's so strange, and something I'll have to fix. I'm probably gonna have to make... Will gotta be able to make it off Namek before it explodes? No, apparently the fuck not. It's already been 12 minutes. It's been me messing with stream, being like, why isn't things working? Let's just ignore all of this. And go play some video games, huh? How's that sound? How's that sound? Welcome, everyone, to Hytale. Once again, we are on the Hytale server. I actually managed to get a little bit of regular gameplay in, believe it or not. Last week, beautiful wife.
My rafflecopter goes soy 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 soy.
Yeah, that still works. Kiwi says this week sure is technical difficulty stream week. I mean, if you don't come to a Gata stream expecting something to go wrong, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what you're expecting, frankly. Oh, and you guys hear talking?
Yippee Papa says I can play Hytale and drink cola.
Yes, you can play Hytale and drink cola. You are allowed. You are allowed. Let me sleep real quick. You don't actually hear Toffee, and I do have to remove the dog command because I do not have a camera set up. You hear Alfie, actually. Something has happened in the last week. He's not a permanent member. He is a polite little boy. We are fostering him while we are waiting for a family for him to show up. He currently is having... Oh, hello? Okay. Oh, Sheila went to sleep. Sheila went to sleep. Now I gotta sleep. Okay, phew. You spent 45 minutes on tech stuff yesterday and Kiwi crashed 5 times? No! I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that's happened to you. Let's step outside. Let me show you what I have worked on. Oh, the trees are actually growing. Very nice. So I did some farming off camera. I managed to turn all of these turnips into the eternal turnips, and it's not easy to do so. You have to have like 25 turnips plus a bag of turnip seeds plus a bunch of life essence to make one eternal turnip seed. So my turnips are all eternal. I've started a small sunflower field in the center here. I'm not going to keep it here. I'm going to put like a gazebo or something here in the center. I've got all of my eggplants to be eternal. I've got all of my cauliflower to be eternal. And I've started working over here on this wheat field. So currently all of these are eternal. I have enough wheat for what I was using my other farming sections for just pure wheat. So I had a bunch of wheat stockpiled, so I can make a bunch of eternal seeds right off the bat. So I've been working off of all this. I also have a small patch. This is going to be a patch for tomato. I'm gonna make a big tomato patch in this area here. I put up my single tomato, eternal tomato, and my corn here for the time being. I plan on having a small kind of rectangular patch of carrots here right along the main walkway in front of the house. And then another small rectangular patch of lettuce right around here. So like over there is one of my main fields. And I'm going to have some smaller ones closer to the house. And there's a whole bunch of things that I still haven't gotten around to starting. So like I've got the carrots, corn, I got the cauliflower, I have some lettuce, I have the turnip and the aubergines. I haven't done pumpkins, I haven't done chili, I haven't done cotton, I haven't done rice, and even further down we have onion and potato. So like I have to upgrade my workbench for those. So like I have a whole bunch of stuff planned. I have a whole bunch of stuff. The goal is not really to stockpile a whole bunch of resources because cooking in this game is still kind of eh. I don't have a need to stockpile like hundreds upon hundreds of an individual crop. Just having the eternal crops in a reasonable size available so I can go out, get 20 or 30 or so, make what I need. By the time I come back, they'll have regrown. Eventually, I imagine Hytale will rebalance this, but for right now... Also, we had an issue with the server last week. I don't know if anyone caught it on camera. The tick speed was out of whack. So time was flying by, and I took advantage of that to create a bit of a wood farm. Unfortunately, because it was before an update with a bug fix, the trees are not turning into proper trees. They're all like this is a proper tree trunk that I can break down and get wood from. They're all stuck in the awkward stage. So I planted a bunch of them. They grew immediately, and I was like, perfect. I'll come back and this will all be all grown up. And no, that's not how that's happening at all. That's not how any of this is working. Real quick, I need to lower. There we go. Music was a little too loud for me, so I had to lower my personal volume. But thankfully, you can see this tree here has grown to its full height. That tree has grown to its full height. That tree, it has been fixed. So I have to break these guys and then get a new sapling to replant them. I eventually want to have random birch trees kind of making the farm section feel like it is. Can I hop up here? Yeah. I want the trees to be kind of like around the outside, not enough to make it a proper ring, but to make it feel a little more enclosed. And then I'm going to have buildings up along here. And that's the plan. But I wanted a lot of birch, so I planted... Actually, can I... Actually, hold on. Ahem. I got to put a thing in my inventory. Oop, I hit my head. That didn't work as I planned. There we go. We have a double jump on the server now. Unfortunately, it currently only works if you're holding an item in your hand, so it's meant more for combat than for regular traversal, but we have it, and I'm planning on turning this off for myself, but we also have dashes. We have Dark Souls dodging! We have Dark Souls dodging because there are people on the server who want to do combat stuff. So that's fun. I'm planning on turning it off for me. I had it on for testing purposes, but now I can show you. So there's a documented proof that at least I can make it work. If anyone else has a hard time, that's not on me. It's on the server, and it's operating for Gata. Just do not try to rotate half slabs. I didn't even consider that! Oh no! The keybind for dashing is the same key you use for rotating half blocks. Oh no! Kiwi, did that happen to you? I'm so sorry! Holy shit. Okay. So, some tweaks are still required. Oh, I gotta actually empty my inventory of all the farming stuff. I also have a weird bug where while I'm dashing, it won't let me jump. I'm pressing the button. Like, I can jump when I'm just walking, but I can't dash and jump at the same time. That's not supposed to be there. Normal blocks 2. Roofing is on hard mode. Oh, no. I am so sorry, everyone. I didn't even consider... You know, I have been posting in the group chat being like, hey guys, is there any issues with the server going on? Anything I should know about? And y'all have been like, no, it's fine. Everything's going great, Gata. And then the moment there's an audience, you're like, hey, by the way, dude, that thing you did, it makes us all jump off the roof. Could you maybe handle that? And I'm over here sweating like, oh no. Let me check the mail while I'm here. I haven't checked it in a hot minute. Oh. Oh, ho, ho. Actually, we do have something. A parchment. Something has happened. A loud rumbling shook the world late last night. Elsewhere on the server, loud impacts could be heard as something fell through the rifts and landed nearby. Mayhaps more memories of a time gone by will arrive. Rifts in the sky? There's through the rifts. What? I didn't hear anything. I didn't feel anything. What are we talking about? I don't see any like holes. I don't think this was there the last time I streamed. Sono's Museum? I thought it was pink. Huh. Well, I guess I just gotta keep an eye up? Make sure nothing else is gonna fall on top of me? Question mark? I didn't know I had to be afraid of that, but I guess I do. Do I have anything else? Oh shit. Oh god. There's another one. Oh no. Something has happened. A chill wind blows in from the north. Your world has made another connection. Those brave enough to face the ice and snow may make the journey into a new shard, though its guardian hates visitors. New shard, Shiva's Tower. All right, I haven't touched the shards at all. For those of you who don't know, Hytale has a thing where, as an early access, they've been showing off some of like the new world gen stuff they can't put into this survival world. In like a dimensional rift thing, we have to build a crystal, use it on a teleporter, and then it'll take you to like a little pocket dimension to show off what's new. Your world has made another.
Is the sky falling?
I don't know if it's falling, but I do know that like we showed up because the worlds were kind of falling apart a little bit, and this one's been mostly stable, but it's still not exactly like good. It's the best we've got so far. All right, so shit's falling out of the sky, and we're making connections to new pocket dimensions. Is there anything else I need to know about? Oh, thank God, no.
Will we be crushed?
I hope we're not crushed. I mean, I am here. Put my helmet on and hope for the best. Okay, let me just put these in here for now. And just keep an eye up for me, everybody. Make sure we're not going to have to worry about anything falling down. Yeesh. You should join our shard adventure? I don't know. I'm not really a combat guy. And, like, they haven't, like... there's guns in the game, but we can't really craft them yet. So, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all that. You guys go take a look-see and see if this Shiva guy is nice, and maybe I'll say hello if they invite us over for tea. All right?
Don't worry, Pop, I will protect you with my squishy plushy body.
That is very true. I just have to hold you over my head and you'll reflect them. All right, let's get to work on actually putting stuff in the cube. Now that I've shown you my non-cube progress. I have to go grab... Excuse me, rabbit. Pardon me. Let's go grab... Oh. Oh, this was in my inventory from last stream. That's right. Where did I drop the cobble? I should be breaking these as I empty them. But then... Alright, so grab all of you. And then grab all of you. Alright. And then up we go. Okay, so... Hi, everybody. Now that we're a half hour into the stream, how are we all doing today on this this fine Thursday? I had a week off. Beautiful wife demanded it of me, and frankly, she was right. She's always right. I have to argue just for the sake of it, but she's usually always right. And I purposefully did nothing. Work has been a fucking nightmare. There's like an event going on, which means we have a lot more people than usual. It happens once a year, and those people, like, we have a lot of people, so it's busier than usual. Those people, woohoo, Minecraft, the redemption. You guys still can't hear it, so I have to say it for you. Yeah, so, like, they're usually, like, super persnickety. A lot more money than usual is running around. So, like, if a mistake gets made, it's a big one. So everyone's stressed. And on top of that, we're still short-staffed. I've been telling you guys how we got some new people. They only started the night before last. And they're very nice. And they're learning very quickly. But they've been very much thrown into, like, the deep end, where they have no real context for half the shit we're doing. So they're doing their best, but they're still learning. And normally they'd have had like 3 or 4 weeks of training before they would have to like really interact. Lol, you could change it to woohoo Hytale if you wanted. I mean, I am going to have to straight up change the audio files to be self-hosted. So I may as well just make it a recording of me saying, woohoo, Hytale. So there's that. Also, please look at the hole. What about the hole? What is that? You guys bedazzled the hole. What is that? Hold on. Hold on. What did you do? What did you do? Hold up. Down we go. You guys bedazzled the hole last time. Is that... Oh my god. You did it. You really did it. It's Toffee! Mana drew me a picture of Toffee with her big eyes, and you guys pixel arted it onto the side of the hole. Oh my god, that's so cute. Unfortunately, some information has been lost in the process. But oh look, there's her giant eyes with the unshed tears. There's her little snoot. And then her big floppy ears. Oh, it's so cute. Did you do anything on the other side? No, just the one. Okay. Oh, who did this? Who did this? Oh, my precious Toffee girl. I'm looking down at her right now. I actually have 2 dog beds underneath my desk right now because Alfie decided that Toffee's bed, Kiwi did it? Thank you, Kiwi. That's so cute. Alfie decided that Toffee's bed was his bed now. So Toffee was like sitting on the outside of the bed staring at him with tears in her eyes like, but that's my bed. And eventually she just settled for like gently laying her head against the side while she laid on the floor like, oh, blue, 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 he took my bed. So I had to put a second dog bed under my desk. There's not a lot of room for my feet at the moment. And they keep switching dog beds, and it's like, just share the big one. And they're like, no, we can't do that. It's like, okay, all right, sure, why not? How's the stream quality on y'all's end, by the way? I'm noticing I'm getting like a 10% drop frame rate. But I can't tell if that was just when it started Are you guys getting glitches or bumps or anything? It's a good stream so far. Okay. Let me rephrase. Not is the stream good, is the video quality up to par? When I was asking, is it a quality stream? I wasn't fishing for compliments. Sometimes it keeps stopping, but it's not bad quality. Okay. All right. That's not what I wanted when I changed it. I wanted it actually to have slightly worse quality to save on processing speed. But it appears to be doing the opposite, where now I'm dropping frames. So, Zaya voice, it's high quality. I don't actually know what Zaya's voice is. I haven't actually watched that season of Kamen Rider just yet. Oh, you know what I did do though, guys? I'm not sure it's a you issue. It might be a Twitch issue. Maybe. But since I recently changed settings in my OBS, it is therefore suspicious, you know? I set up a Jellyfin server. I talked about wanting to last stream. And I did a lot of research in between because I thought I was going to have to go out and buy a whole new like PC tower. I thought I had to get all this storage for it. But I actually just like have some stuff on me. I have old laptops that I could put Linux on, and they are new-ish enough that they can still run a server. You don't need a whole lot of power for it. I have all my anime saved in my terabyte hard drive, which I use for like regular stuff. Like all of my video games are installed on that hard drive. Oh, hey Gato, what is a Jellyfin server? So a Jellyfin is an open source software that essentially allows you to create a home server that will connect to your media storage and allow you to access it from other devices in your house. So like, you know how Google Cloud you upload things to Google Documents, and it sits on Google server, and you can use Google Apps to access that data wherever you are, right? This is essentially that, only it's in your house instead of Google owning it. And the thing is, it's set up specifically for playing media, so like I could use it to access like PDFs or pictures if I wanted, but the main draw is that it is set up to essentially be a personal Netflix of stuff that you own. Stuff that you have digital files for, it will automatically read the files if you put them in the right folder structure at least. It'll read the files, register what the show is, it'll download information and images from IMDb, including episode titles, previews, trailers. So for example, I have a copy of all of Outlaw Star, right? And when I set up my Jellyfin to scan my anime folder, it registered, oh, this bitch has Outlaw Star. So without me having to tell it, it downloaded a cover image from IMDb, information on all the voice actors, the titles of all the episodes, so it wasn't just Outlaw Star 01, Outlaw Star 02, like the file names are. It was the actual title of the episode. And then when I accessed the server via an app on my phone, I pressed on Outlaw Star, and it started playing Outlaw Star. And I can change the audio tracks, I can change the subtitles. Those came with the files that I have, of course. And yeah, the stopgap is that I need storage, because I have the 1 terabyte, but I use it for things that are not just storing. Oh, that's why you got to watch Geographic Special for 30 Years special episode. Yeah, no. Something went wrong with the folder option, the folder organization. So even though the cover folder was like, this is Witch from Mercury, this is Gundam Witch from Mercury, the episodes were using titles from National Geographic for some reason. So, you know. It has done a real number on some of my Kamen Rider seasons due to how IMDb categorizes everything. All of Kuga is classified as individual specials, for instance, instead of putting them in order. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. There is, like, the thing is, when you do a scan, You can change the settings so it will not include information for certain things you scan. And then you can use text files on the in the storage itself to denote what the names of things are supposed to be. That's a little more fiddly than I've had a hand in. For the most part, it is plug and play, and that is really fucking cool. That is really fucking cool. Especially since Beautiful Wife and I have been making a point of collecting a bunch of physical DVDs from like thrift stores. We're trying to wean ourselves off subscription services. Currently, the subscription services we have are I subscribe to a couple of news sites. Those can't be replaced. I subscribe to a couple of Patreons. Those can't be replaced. Beautiful Wife pays for Spotify because she listens to audiobooks. And it gives her so many hours of audiobooks a month for a subscription. However, even though in the moment it's cheaper to pay a subscription and listen to hours of an audiobook, it's honestly better to just see if you can get an audiobook that is available like via a library and then put it on your Jellyfin server and listen to it there. So like we're slowly working on peeling things back. If I set this server up correctly, I can have it be accessible from outside. So theoretically, as long as we have access to the internet and power at our house, I should be able to rip all of our CDs and DVDs, and we can have our music and our movies available on the go. The stopgap there is going to be storage for one. Again, I use my terabyte drive for more than just storing anime, so I can't really like delete all that shit. And also, our internet is not the greatest. So like if Beautiful Wife were outside right now, like say she was at work and she wanted to listen to her audiobook while she's on the clock, if I'm trying to stream at the same time, I don't know that's going to work very well. I don't think it's going to work out simply because what has Beautiful Wife been reading lately? So she reread Song of Achilles for a book club. She has been getting back into her various book clubs. She kind of fell out of attending them for a while. So she finished reading Song of Achilles. She recently got the new book by, I think her name is Lisa C. Next fundraiser, get Gotta 5 terabytes. Buddy, it's like $90 for a 1 terabyte drive these days. Well, actually, now that you say that, that would be less than $500. That would be approximately $500, which is approximately how much I asked for the cube in the first place. So that's not a reasonable thing to ask. I'm planning on buying it myself. So maybe, yeah, but I'll hold off for a bit. Though the sun is going down. All right. There's some hard drives on sale right now on Newegg. Some are like 50% off. Yeah, no, storage and memory prices are really bad right now because of AI. Like literally because of AI. All of the production companies have essentially pre-sold all they can produce for the next like 2 or 3 years to these AI centers, which may or may not actually get built. And even if they are being built, the value acquired from them is all funny money, and it's killing the planet cloud. So like, what the fuck? I'll wait a bit longer. I'll wait a smidge longer for the sun to get a little deeper. I'll wait for the sun to get in line with the edge of the cube, and then I'll go sleep. What was I saying? Oh yeah, no, digital storage is nonsense right now. One thing I have been looking into is used hard drives from eBay. Now, I understand that your immediate thought is probably, oh God, I was going to get scammed. And that's true. I am probably going to get scammed. But basically, if you can get used hard drives that have been like ripped out of old computers and you have a SATA adapter, you can use them as though they were an external hard drive. And a SATA to USB adapter, if I wanted to go that route, is only like $20. So while it's only slightly cheaper, because I can get a hard drive for like $30, and then the adapter for like 20. That is still slightly less. That's like what, that's $50, $60 the shipping. That's less than like the $90 to $150 you would get for a regular 1 terabyte drive. Another thing that I'm looking into is a NAS, which I think I knew what the acronym stood for. But essentially, it is a case that you plug multiple hard drives into, and it has its own little power source to get the hard drives running, and then you wire that to your server of choice, and you use that. Those are like $200 for like a 4 slot. Oh no! Oh no! Oh. I saved it and then I lost it. But I was low enough that it was fine. Oh, that was scary. Oh, that was scary. Holy shit. Oh, God. I'm going to get some food in me now to heal up. Extremely niche complaint. SATA to USB adapters are super easy to get, but basically nobody makes USB to SATA adapters, and it ticks me off because I have some external drives I would love to connect directly to my Mobo. Hold on a minute. What's the difference? What's the difference between... Hold on. SATA to USB adapters are easy to get, okay? So you plug one into the SATA and one into the USB. But USB to SATA adapters, nobody makes. This is going to... Okay, I'm going to say something incredibly ignorant and probably very funny to you. If you wanted USB to SATA, wouldn't you just rotate the cord? Or are they only ever one way? Some cables only send data one way. Interesting. So then if I were to go the USB SATA connection, does that mean that I wouldn't be able to put files onto the hard drive from the thing that I plugged it into? Is that how that would work? As usual, I encounter Dunning-Kruger because I think I know something and then I don't. My use case would be absolutely fine. Okay, so then it's just because you're trying to do some higher level shit and I'm just a wee baby who doesn't know how things work. Got it. Perfect. Okay. Phew. I'm over here like sweating a bit like, wait a minute. Aya says, we bought a NAS from the sale I mentioned. That's the only reason I knew about the sale. Yeah. I'm at the moment, because I'm currently using a laptop, right? So like even that isn't a perfect solution. I'm using a renovated Chrome workbook that I slapped Linux on in order to be my Jellyfin server, my first test Jellyfin server. Oh, I don't want to go this way. Eventually, I would want something more stable, more of like a proper desktop box thing. I'm actually planning on asking my boss straight up, like, hey, if ever the company is trying to get rid of these workstations, please let me know, because I can make use of them to make little black boxes for my home lab stuff. I actually spent yesterday attempting to salvage what I could from the PC tower that I originally started streaming on. For those of you who've been around for a while, you will recall that a couple of years into my experience, my tower went kaput. I was streaming off of a renovated, cobbled together tower that I got from Jessica's old job when they upgraded their computers. So I was streaming off of computers that originally were running Windows XP. And I upgraded them a little bit using junk that I had accessible to me. And I streamed with that for a couple of years until something in it blew. So the first thing I did was attempt to... God, I said cobble! I said the thing! I said the word! Yes, no. I attempted to use the leftover hard drives from that. One of them is like a 500 gigabyte. A friend of mine has said they'd like it if I'm not using it, and I said absolutely. And then there was another one that was like, there was a pair of hard drives that were like less than like 100 MB a piece. Like, it was super fucking small. Super fucking small. And I'm planning on just junking those. So I spent yesterday attempting to use the pieces from those broken PCs to cobble together a single working one. But unfortunately, we live in Florida, and I was not protecting them as well as I should have. So I guess rust got into some of the connections, and it's nowhere visible that will allow me to see where I even need to fix. So unfortunately, those are busted. But I have the Chromebook laptop, which I had previously converted to run Linux to use it as a typing PC. It's not very good for that, but it runs Jellyfin like a goddamn charm. So until I can get a proper box and put some storage in that, that is going to be my Jellyfin server for the time being. Let me see what else. But my buddy Alex pointed out that there's a computer junk shop that will recycle shit. And they also sell some stuff back. That's how they make profit. So what I'm planning on doing is taking the cases and whatever is left. The motherboard one is fried, so I'll just tell them like, hey, that's fried. You probably can't use it. Junk it. But I'll see what I can get from them to kind of price out what it would cost me to like use something local to make a proper box. So that's my project. I'm real excited about it. It's super cool, and it makes me feel like I am no longer reliant on services. You know? One of the things that I can do with Jellyfin, because people have been making like third-party add-ons for it. There's a third-party add-on called Jellyfin TV, where essentially you can create an air quotes always on TV station, end quotes, where you tell it what shows should be in on your channel. So I can make a cartoon channel, right? You tell it what shows should be on the channel. It will generate a schedule, and then every time you open up that channel, it will start playing whatever is in the schedule at the point in time it should be, so you will tune in to an episode already in progress. And what's really cool is that it keeps track of what episodes you've actually watched. So for example, the schedule says that at like 9 a.m. every day, it will play Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, right? If I watch it on Monday after setting it up, it will play episode 1 of Power Rangers. If I tune back in on Tuesday, it'll show me episode 2 of Power Rangers. But let's say I don't watch Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. I don't log back until Saturday. According to the schedule, air quote, Power Rangers has aired, end quote, for the past 3 days. So shouldn't it be on episode 6 or 7 now? No. It knows that I only watched episodes 1 and 2. So when I log back in to keep watching that channel, it'll show me episode 3. Which is really fucking cool. So it also allows you to put ads. You can have a folder separated just for video files that are meant to be played in between episodes, like ads. I don't know if there's a lot of control about bumpers, as in I could control when an episode... It's called Jellyfin TV, all one word. I haven't tried it out to see if it works yet. I just know that it exists. So hopefully it's up to date. I don't know if it gives you bumper control. So like I know on other streaming software that is open source, you can have dedicated bumpers. So like when it goes to commercial, it'll go, we are going to commercial. We are playing Sailor Moon. Therefore, we will now play the Toonami bumper. Sailor Moon will be right back. Followed by 3 ad files. Followed by, we now return to Sailor Moon. Like, I don't know if it has that level of control, or if I would want it, because that's very fiddly and requires you to like go into files and type things out to tell it how to work. But still, being able to like download a bunch of like generic Cartoon Network. This is why I was posting about this on Blue Sky yesterday. The City era of Cartoon Network had a lot of really had like 200 to 300 little vignettes of different cartoon characters interacting in a shared setting. So like in my mind, I'm like, what if I just took all my favorite Cartoon Network shows, put them in a channel, and put those bumpers in there and had them play in between episodes. So it's like my own personal little Cartoon Network station, just like the good old days, you know? I'm definitely planning on having a tokusatsu channel with all my different Sentais and Metal Heroes and Kamen Riders playing on it. It'll give me an excuse to download and watch through various Ultramen if it's just they're randomly playing on a TV station.
Is that Tony Morgan I see? Coming. Take a seat.
Hey, thank you, Tegan, for coming back and for resubbing. You get a jolly jangle of the cheer bell. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tegan. Welcome in. You were late because of work. You're not a bad mod. You're not a bad mod, Tegan. You do so much extra work behind the scenes. I could never call you a bad mod. Don't even pretend. You're good. How are you? We're talking about servers and Cartoon Network, and I've been setting up my own personal Netflix via Jellyfin. But yeah, so I'm thinking of doing a Toonami channel, a Tokusatsu channel, a Cartoon Network channel, and then it occurred to me that I could technically take my favorite YouTube channels, download their episodes, and include like an offline rewatch channel just for me. Granted, that would require that I have the storage for all of that, but you know, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. I don't understand how any of that works, but I'm happy for you, Gata. Thanks, Tegan. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been having a very fun week learning how it works and putting it all together. Hold on. My audio settings are off again. Voice chat.
How are you?
Hi, Boomer. You scared the fucking tits off me, man.
Yeah, no, I saw you fucking freak.
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. Toffee, just because I screamed doesn't mean that you can scream. We're not doing that.
Why not?
Hi, Boomer. How are you doing?
Doing alright, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Real quick for chat, are you guys able to hear Boomer when they talk loud enough related to me?
Do I need to yell?
Well, maybe don't yell. I just I split the stream audio, so I want to make sure that the game audio is having you loud enough compared to my mic.
Damn.
Toffee, please, not now. Unfortunately, the camera is not set up, and also my feet are exposed, so you will not be seeing Toffee this stream. We don't give that away for free. Tegan says, yes, Boomer is fine. Good, good, good.
I just wanted to be included.
Alright. But yeah. What's up, my dude?
Not much. Just waking up, getting started for the day. You know,
Nice. I had a really rough night the other night myself. It's starting to get really hot down here. It's summer in Florida, you know. It tends.
Yeah.
It tends to get hot. And we have both Toffee and Elfie now, and they're both cuddlers. So I would be waking up like every hour on the hour because one or both of them had decided they wanted to get in my space, so I was overheating. So I slept like maybe 5 hours the other night. It was fucking rough. But I still have to get up. I still gotta go to work. So I get up and I go to work and I get there. And the first thing that anyone says to me, they turn around and be like, "Hey, They like stop talking, like, "Oh," and look me up and down, and I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I don't look that rough. Come on. They're like, "No, man, you look pretty rough. Are you all right?"
One night of bad sleep, and they're just like, Jesus.
Oh my God. I'm like, all right. Thanks for telling me I look like shit. Got it. My boss, this is only semi-related. It's not the same instance, but it's a similar instance. My boss took me aside the other day, and he said, "Hey, Gata, listen, I'm probably overreacting because they just made us take a seminar on this. But are you suicidal?" And I was like, "What?"
Oh my God.
And he's like, "You haven't been laughing as much. You haven't been joking as much. You've been getting quieter. I just want you to know that if you need someone to talk to, I'm here for you." And I was like, "Boss,
Oh my God.
it's the biggest event of the year. We're all fucking exhausted. I have two dogs at home now that we're fostering. I just need a nap, man." And he's like, "Okay, as long as that's all." I'm like, Jesus Christ. Puts a hand on my shoulder. He's like, "Gata, are you going to kill yourself?" What the fuck are you? Okay. I mean, it's really sweet that he thought of me, that he was like, I should check in on this guy. But it's also like, no, I'm just 40 and I need to sleep, okay? Calm down. Yeah, at least the boss checked. Yeah, no. After I was like done being like confounded, I was very touched, actually. I was like, okay. He's making sure I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, at least he checked in on you.
Golly
So
gee.
I think if my boss pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, are you gonna kill yourself?" and be like, "Hey, are you gonna pay me?"
You'd be like, maybe, is there a raise coming? Oh, speaking of... Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna make another joke about it. What's up?
Speaking of raises, beautiful wife got a $2 raise the other day.
Oh, hell yeah.
She had like a come to God moment with her boss and was like, "Listen, I don't want to cause a stink, but ever since we lost our last manager, I've been doing all the manager stuff without getting manager money. So like either I want the position or you got to give me a raise." And they were like, "What do you want?" And she was like, "Shoot for the moon, land on the stars." She goes, $2. He goes, "I'll think about it." Came back yesterday and was like, "Okay, $2. And she's like, "Wait, really?" He's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, fuck, okay." So, unfortunately, for my ego, I am no longer the big earner in the house. She officially makes $1 more than me.
Damn.
She fucking leapfrogged me. We've been going at it neck and neck for years. Like, one of us will inch ahead and the other one will catch up. So I was like, I'm the breadwinner. Hooray, how masculine of me. And then she's like, "Sup, bitch? Check this out." There's a perfect 360 ollie. I'm like, whoa!
That's really funny.
So... breadwinner wife. Yeah, no, we bounce back and forth every couple of years. It doesn't bother me one fucking bit, frankly. I joke about it, but I don't fucking care. Sheila said, "We know you've been going at it neck and neck with your beautiful wife, but what about the money?" Sheila! Sheila! Simmer down. Can't believe this. I'm like, in my Christian Hytale server.
Oh, we're Christian in here? Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah. Whoops. God damn.
We went out drinking last night.
I saw you post about that. How
Yeah.
you were like how many drinks deep when you messaged? It was like 10?
Yeah.
Damn, boy.
Oh? Is that percent user question
we
mark
went out,
percent?
they were
So
doing
good to see you.
music karaoke
Hold on a minute,
where
a
they, like-
second.
Oh no.
Sorry, no. I just recognized what y'all were talking about earlier. What Henbert, percent username percent question mark? Oh, I know what I did. Oh, I didn't put a space between the percent and the question mark. Okay, so I have to fix one of Henbert's phrases. Got it. Okay. Hi, Mithroon. Welcome in.
Hi, Mithroon.
This is technical difficulties, the stream, apparently. I've been having a time. But at least I'm finding these things. Tegan, take a note. I'm finding these issues, and they can be corrected. The sound, Donkey Kong sound is fucked, and one of Henbert's phrases is not properly formatted, so it's not reading people's names. I'll expect that on my desk whenever you have time. No rush. Please continue about your drinking habits.
Yeah, so we went to music bingo.
Ooh.
So they would like play a song. You had to like mark if the song played was on your bingo card, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did 3 rounds of music bingo and then a round of regular bingo. You had to buy the $3 shots to get into the round of regular bingo. We bought so many for the table.
I see.
We had 18 bingo cards between the 5 of us.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And you got a card for every shot you had paid for. Plus we were ordering drinks on the side. They had killer catfish there.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was actually really good.
Damn, all right.
It is the first time I've drank without incident in years.
Okay. Congratulations.
Nothing bad happened. We had a good time.
Well, good. I'm glad.
I didn't get to sleep until 6 a.m. for some fucking reason.
Oh.
But here we are.
And now you're here at 1 on the Cobblepod.
Yeah.
Well, I
woke up like an hour ago. So.
I appreciate your dedication to the craft.
Yeah.
And also, I'm glad you had a good time out with friends.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was really funny. So, both of my roommates are Latino.
Uh-huh.
And as a consequence, a lot of their friends are also Latino, right?
I see. I see.
So it's me, white man, hanging out with all my Latino friends.
Right.
And the bar we went to was like extremely white.
Uh-huh.
In like demographic, and I'm used to white people bar shenanigans. My friends are not.
No.
And they were like, "What the fuck is happening?" And I'm like, "This is
normal."
This is about." And they were just like, "No, incorrect."
That is very funny, though.
It was great. We had a good time.
I'm glad. I'm glad you had a good time. I have never been to a bar during, like, drinking hours, like, after work. I've never done that. I know it's not my style.
Yeah.
The best bar I've ever been to is this rinky-dink Irish pub that we have in the touristy district here in St. Augustine. I forget the name of it. But we went in the middle of the day when no one was there. There was one guy at the bar eating a sandwich. And it was me and my beautiful
Amazing.
wife, Lee, and their then husband, who we don't talk about him anymore, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And we went and we had some drinks and they had some like Irish music playing and they had a whole bunch of like foodstuffs that was relevant to, you know, the style. Like it's not authentic by any means because it's a tourist trap. But it was like really kitschy and really fun, really calm vibes. And I'm like, yes, this is perfect. A nice lunch with some alcohol and some friends. And then my sibling-in-law, Kaiju, is like, I'm going to order the fishbowl. And we're like, the what? And they bring out this actual fishbowl full of alcohol. They had like some edible like rock things in the bottom for gravel. There was a tiny toy shark floating in it. And they drank the whole thing. They they went for it. And we were like, bro, it is 10 a.m. What are you doing? Even the bartender was like, you want the fishbowl? Okay. All right. Far be it from me. It was very funny.
I had one from a fishbowl for a while.
Yeah.
The one I had, they put a red like liquor in the shark, so that when you pulled the shark out of the fishbowl, it like there's like blood in the water, so to speak.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was like McGillicuddy or some shit. I don't fucking remember. It's been years, but
no. Have I never been to the heart of Orbis to open up the memories tab? Huh. I guess I haven't. Oh. New mod we added. We now have thought bubbles whenever we open up an inventory or something so people can see what we're interacting with. I haven't had a chance to test it out until right now. I'm so glad it works. I mean, lore. The worlds have shifted, and now we are semi-psychic. We are linked, and we simply know things about each other. Yeah, that's how that works. Yeah.
I'd mind meld with you, Gata.
That is probably one of the sweetest things anyone has ever said to me. It pales only to one where my buddy Osh once said in a group chat, "You say sentences no one's ever said before." That's the number one. That's the number one.
That's fair.
Tegan says, "Lol, and now I can kind of fly." Oh, the dashing thing, which I probably should. Now that I'm all the way up here, having the dash mod on seems very dangerous. Actually, let me real quick. Perfect dodges, settings. Let me just really quick turn that off. There we go. I do still have my double jump though, so if I need to course correct, I can try to do it. You have to have it thinking. I have it set to the E key. You might have to do / double jump settings.
Oh no, there it is.
There you go. Okay. Hytale modding is still very much in its infancy. So like there's a lot of stuff that isn't standard yet, if that makes sense. Like the only flight that is currently in the game for players and for NPCs is creative flight, which is more like hovering. It's not like hang gliders or anything, even though we do have hang gliders. And hang gliders is just slow falling. So when someone wants to create a mod where an object or like a dragon or something is able to fly, their options are really big jumps with really slow fall times. And that's all they got. That's all that's in the game. Oh, Sheila just hopped into a bed. We should probably try and sleep so there's actually something for the audience to look at because it is pitch dark on the OBS screen right now. I just turned it off. Can I double jump and evade my death? Let's find out.
Only one of yeah.
Geronimo! No. No, unfortunately. I pressed it. There's a window, apparently, of grace that will allow you to double jump. You have to be on the upswing, I suppose. Maybe I just did it wrong. You're right. Let's try it again. Well, if you time it right, but what? But what, Sheila? There we go. All right. While I'm down
Maybe
here,
get out of bed in the morning now.
yeah, that's the base vanilla. That's that's just in the game now.
Hell yeah.
The air dash will do it. For roleplay purposes, I don't think Farmer Gata should have an air dash. I added it for Rocky and the others, but similar to the Mermaid mod, which allows Boomer and Allegro to have tails and swim speed and breathe underwater, it's not something that I think everyone on the server should have. We do light roleplay here, you see. What about a wave dash? Well, I mean, that's kind of what the dash really is. But no, I don't think Farmer Gata has a wave dash. Farmer Gata, in my idea, in my mental image, Farmer Gata is a stand stock still and fire a gun multiple times kind of fighter. He finds a vantage point where he's not going to get hit, and he takes pot shots. That's his character. That's his motivation. But we don't have guns yet, so you know. Tegan, eventually we will have a mod that lets you fly. And then you will be the one person on the server that can use it. I'm still looking for a mod that'll give one player immunity to lava. It doesn't exist yet, but eventually. Does Gata have the rich white girl sweep? What are you talking about? What are you referencing? He does not go, oh! He's not an Ojo-sama. That is, again, your thing, Tegan. Hell yeah! All right. Simmer down. One day flight, I believe. It will happen. I swan to John. They'll figure it out eventually. There actually has been some new news in Hytale. Nothing official, but it's mostly Simon chatting on Twitter.
Yeah.
Said derogatorily. Where they're apparently working on creating a license to essentially open source the game. Not even for like modding purposes, but to be like, here's how we made our block game. Here, you can now have the code to fork it off to make your own block game.
Interesting. Which
is wild to me, partially because of, like, normally they would, normally a game that is popular would come out and it would try to be the only one on the block. Like, having heavy mod access is already a lot more than most games would give at, like, launch. I mean, we're in alpha, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Minecraft! So, for them to immediately say, like, yeah, at some point in the future, we're just going to dump our entire code base so that you can build your own game using the same technology we've developed is wild to me. What I think they're... Yeah, I know you can't hear that. That is why I'm saying it out loud, specifically, so that... I'll fix it off stream, I promise. My thought process is that Hytale itself is going to have the single-player experience, which is the story they want to tell with the game. It's going to have the heavy modding support for people to...
Minecraft.
Thank you, Henbrit, for woohooing Minecraft for us. And they're also going to have the server infrastructure, because right now the main draw of playing Hytale in early access is that switching from server to server is super fucking easy, and there's no mods to download. Like there's no mod curator program to work as an in-between. Like you open up Hytale, pick a public server, log in, and you're playing COD, you're playing a shooter, you're playing Mario Party, you're playing an MMO, because all of these individual servers are out there, public facing, and they were able to mod it to be the kind of game they wanted it to be, and you can just go and do that. Like, not to make comparisons to Roblox, but it's the kind of click and play experience that you get with like Roblox, where someone has made something, you press a few buttons, and bam, you're in it.
Yeah.
So I highly doubt that anyone else will be able to recreate that experience. I just didn't expect them to dangle open sourcing the project so soon. Like it's been 6 months since they got the game back. It's kind of wild to me.
That is kind of wild.
We might soon be a flush in block game alikes, where Minecraft wouldn't let anyone play. Hytale is going to be like, fuck you. Make your own block game. Here are the tools to do it.
I don't think anything will ever properly kill Minecraft, but
No,
like,
for sure not. No.
could come close.
At this point, Minecraft has too much capita, both in terms of actual dollars and in social credits.
Yeah.
At best, I would like to see Hytale be considered a serious competitor.
Microsoft might true.
That is, you know what? That is true. That is true.
Microsoft's fucking trying, that's for sure.
Apparently, and this is me not doing any research because I don't give a shit about Minecraft anymore, but apparently they're starting to ban people from accessing multiplayer servers entirely, based on saying stuff like Israel is committing a genocide, or boycott Microsoft for supporting Israel. Minecraft, like,
Jesus.
at the top level, is banning people, apparently, for political speech within the video game. So I don't know if people are being banned for builds on public server or just what is in, like, the logs on chats. But they're labeling it all hate speech, and they are shutting people down, apparently. Locking their accounts out from ever using multiplayer servers again. Which is absolutely insane. So it's not going great over there, all things considered. Could be better. Ooh, my drop frames is inching up to the 14.7%. Is stream still visually okay? Are you getting stops? Concerning. I can't change the settings during stream either, so if the VOD of this one comes out looking bad, I'll just have to eat it on the chin. Oh well. Yeah, because of air quotes hate speech. Got it. The stream is stuttering and now it's of a lower quality. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Can I change here? Let me try to do something real quick. File settings, output. Let me try and apply that. Okay. I am dropping frames like a mofo. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I see why. It's not Twitch, and it's not my OBS either. It's my internet connection.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's fluctuating when it shouldn't be fluctuating. So I guess I just have to live with this. Alright, well, as long as the stream is still semi-watchable and listenable. It's just my internet. Which is wild, because we have perfect weather today. Nothing's fucking happened. God, give me grace. Tegan says, oh, that's fine then. Well, it's not fine, but it's out of my control, officially. Shrugs. Shrug emojis. Ah, well. Florida TM. Yeah. I really hope that when we make that move to New Hampshire, that we, just not being in Florida and possibly having decent internet is going to be so nice. Aya says, guys, how much am I allowed to scream at work? Well, if you want to remain employed, you probably should be making too many loud noises. You get written up. But if you want to scream about work, that's fine. I have no problem with that. Screaming in Goddess chat is allowed. Jin says, as a goat, plenty. Oh, New Hampshire, you say? I've said this has been the plan for like 2 years now, Tegan. Ever since he got elected, it's been in the works. There is a group of fellow queer individuals who we have been low-key in a pact to move as a unit. The plan is one of us has all the money. So they're the one that's going to be the first swing on the vine. The idea is that we are going to move to a location as a unit, not all at the exact same time, but as a group, to be a built-in support network for us when we reach our destination. So we're not moving to somewhere completely new with no one around that we know. Unfortunately, the housing market is a fucking nightmare. You said, quote, north, and then told me 3 different states. Oh, that's true. Okay, no. For the last year, the plan has been New Hampshire. We considered Massachusetts, specifically the Chicago area, but then, stuff happened there. So we're like, maybe not.
Chicago's not in Massachusetts.
What?
Chicago is not in Massachusetts.
Then where's Chicago?
Wait, moral compass skimming
Chicago's
wait.
in the fucking Midwest.
Before you come in, make sure to wipe your feet.
Chicago's in
Oh,
Illinois.
who am I kidding?
Chicago's
This
in
is a bind.
Illinois?
Chicago's fucking
I
Great
thought
Lake
it was
across from
Massachusetts!
Detroit.
I thought it was what?
No, why the fuck would Chicago be in Massachusetts?
Oh my
Boston's
god.
in Massachusetts.
I knew that. I knew that.
You thought they had Boston and Chicago? You think they're big enough for that?
I don't know.
It's Massachusetts.
I don't know. I live in Florida. The nearest town is an hour drive away.
Well, I'll be. Detective Pigeon. How have you been, you rascal?
You lived in fucking Maine. You were in the area. You
I
should
never
know that.
went to that. No, that's true. I went to Boston once. But I didn't go anywhere else. I didn't look around.
Yeah, Chicago is a...
Gadda thinks
a
Boston
great
and
lake away from
Chicago are
Detroit.
best buds, and I think that's beautiful.
I literally was like, oh, that explains why Bostonians and Chicagoans such a big rivalry on the internet. They're like at opposite ends of the same
No.
state. That makes sense to me.
No, New York and LA have beef. You know they're in different states, right? It's important to me that you know that New York and LA are in different fucking states.
Yes, I know that Los Angeles is not in New York. Oh, no. Oh, God. The worst part is this took place in front of an audience. This is on me
Yeah.
forever. You fuckers were never going to forget about this. Tegan says, is this better or worse than my wind thing? God, what a clip. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? That does explain why the debate between Chicago and New Hampshire was so heavy in the group. I was thinking to myself, they're not that far from each other, a couple hours drive. We can see each other, no problem. If one goes to one goes to the other.
No.
Oh.
I'm gonna wait till this goes to YouTube VOD, and then I'm just gonna take the whole fucking argument and put that shit up.
Okay.
Good God.
I have to go to work and explain this now. I have to look my boss in the face because because I know people from work watch this stream and like they don't watch it live. One of them's gonna watch the VOD and then they're gonna look me in the eyes and be like, "Are you gonna tell our boss or do I have to tell them that you're an idiot?" And I'm like, "Oh, oh no."
Like everybody has a thing they're kind of dumb about. That's fine. Holy shit.
Looks at me and goes, sure, a thing. I'm actually crying IRL. Oh my God.
Good Lord.
Hold on.
This is up there with there are no fish in the ocean. This is fucking hilarious.
There we go. We'll just keep that up for a minute. Wait, who said there are no fish in the ocean?
A friend of mine. So, I'm from Texas, right? I'm from the Texas coast. The Gulf of Mexico is warm water, which means there's tiny fish in shallows, right?
Right.
You're from Florida, you understand this.
Right.
My friend is born and raised in LA, which means the closest body of water to him is the Pacific Ocean, which is notoriously very cold, which means there are not tiny fish in the shallow water.
Naturally.
So I had never been to the Pacific. I was asking my friend, I was like, hey man, like I'm going to LA soon. I'm gonna go set foot in the Pacific. What is the protocol for the tiny fish that fucking bite your feet? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, when you go into the shallow water and there's the little fish that bury themselves in the sand, but they bite your feet. And he's like, there's no fish in the ocean. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean?
That is very fucking funny. Oh my God. There's an Evantress clip where Derek's character is being transformed into an animal, and so he suggests that he do transform into a whale, and Nikki, who's the DM, is like, no, we're not dealing with you turning into a fucking whale for the session. Oh fuck, what's his name? I know all their names, but in the moment I'm blanking. He plays Gideon. He plays the chicken lawyer. Anyway, he goes, are whales animals? And there's a pause at the table, and Derek's like, by a wide margin, yes. And he's like, but aren't they fish? And they're like, fish are animals. He's like, no. Fish aren't animals. Fish are like dolphins and crabs. And it's like he's like objectively wrong. Mace, that's his name. He's objectively. What he was thinking was, are whales mammals? That's where he was getting stuck on. But what came out is, are whales animals? And the entire table is derailed. They make a really great clip of it. It's very good.
Are fish are like dolphins and crabs. Like that is a mammal and a crustacean, sir.
Right.
Neither of which is legally classified as a fucking fish.
You know what are classified as fish?
What?
Beavers, but only for Lent.
To the Catholic Church.
Yes.
Yeah. I do know this one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, beavers are legally fish in the eyes of the Catholic Church for the purposes of consuming.
Tegan said, I asked Rocky if wind went other directions than east to west because my brain died. Hold on. Hold on a second.
Lord.
Wait a minute. Tegan, did you Tegan, did you think... Hold on. Did you think that wind happens because the Earth rotates and the air stays still? So from our perception, it moves? Tegan.
I was trying to spell something. How is that a defense, Tegan?
That's not a defense. That is not a defense. Okay, it happened on stream and my brain stopped working. I think your brain can stop working for other reasons. But, I need to, like, I know that nothing you say, there's no explanation that will make it any better, but I desperately need to understand where the logic was in your brain to come to that conclusion and question it. Jesus, I know there's more wind. Yeah, you do now.
Yeah.
Because Rocky corrected you. I know wind is air pressure changes. Okay, so it doesn't go that deep. But for some reason, you still thought it only went in one direction. All right. Well.
I mean, the thing is that if it went east to west on the northern hemisphere, wouldn't it go the opposite direction in the southern hemisphere because of the way the rotational patterns work? Because that's the Coriolanus effect or whatever the fuck.
Oh,
Coriolis. That's the fucking
okay,
word.
so we've already established, right, that... Hold on. We've already established that in this premise, Tegan thinks wind works because the Earth rotates. So now I'm imagining you being like, well, it goes the other way in the southern hemisphere because the southern hemisphere rotates the opposite direction.
Yeah, you know.
Like the hemisphere is like a crack.
Yeah. God doesn't know maps and I don't know wind, it's fine. God is gonna fucking die.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You know water spins in the opposite direction in the southern hemisphere, right? Like in the toilets and shit?
I'll be honest with you. You say that, and I've heard that. I'm not sure if that's real or not. That's not a myth.
There's video evidence. Somebody did a video on the equator where they put it in the northern hemisphere and drained water, and it spins the correct way, the northern hemisphere way. And then they put it on the equator itself, and it just drains. It doesn't spin at all. And then they put it in the southern hemisphere, and it spins the opposite direction.
Right.
There's like video evidence of this.
That's wild.
The Coriolanus effect, though, instantly people like you're a proud when you start mentioning the more obscure Shakespeare plays true.
Jesus. Tegan says, yeah, the Earth rotates like a fucking Rubik's Cube. I believe it. Jesus Christ.
I mean, have any of you been to space? None of us can prove it doesn't.
That's true. That's true. But you know who has been to space?
Who?
William Shatner. And he came back completely broken. It's very funny.
Wow.
Completely broken, non-derogatory. Like, he had, like, a crisis of faith up there, and he came back, and now he's, like a super staunch, like activist for nature and stuff. She's like, he went up there, and he's, like, had a brain blast of, like, we're a tiny blue marble floating through the void. We're all each other's gods. We only have the one planet. It's so beautiful. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos, who was on the same ship with him, is like, haha, I'm rich. I took
got that guy.
I took the Star Trek Kirk man up in my rocket ship because space, haha. Meanwhile, the actor William Shatner has like developed a 1,000-yard stare. He traumatized
I think
that
that's
man.
That's probably the correct response to seeing your planet from the outside.
Oh,
It'd be like if you saw
absolutely.
your body from the outside, I think you'd freak the fuck out.
Oh yeah, like our brains are not meant for that shit.
Yeah, no, we are silly little apes meant to prance around and eat berries or whatever the fuck, and like we're not meant to see shit on that scale.
No. I was watching a YouTube video on game design and numbers. I think I linked in Postboard before, but I'll link it again. And one of the things it mentions is about how like we are really good at estimating, but really bad at visualizing numbers past a certain amount. The example was like if you had like a line graph with $100 on the low end $1,000 on the low end and $1 billion on the high end, where would you mark 1 million? And a lot of people would mark it somewhere near the middle because they think, well, 1,000, a million, a billion, we estimate the increments going up equidistant to each other. When in reality, you need 1,000 millions to make a billion. So it's significantly skewed. And one of the discussions is that apparently in math circles, like high-end math circles, it's actually a point of discussion wherein we are so young a species compared to the rest of the universe, and people will estimate it being in the middle, but it would be closer to like a 10% mark, really. But like literally, like as a species, we have not evolved the brains to properly, because like estimating a whole lot in terms of like berries or firewood is a needed skill. Estimating what a billion pieces of firewood looks like is not anything we ape people have ever actually needed, and therefore we have not naturally developed the brains as a species to do so, which is very interesting.
To go back to like Sheila's point for a second of like if you've never seen your body from all angles live, like it's very jarring. I've been far enough out onto the water to not see land once, and it like fucked me up forever.
Yep. Mm-hmm. They'll do that to you.
Like just the sheer like, oh god, like where the fuck am I? What's happening? of it. Like I think if I saw all angles of my body at once, I'd fucking like snap.
That's partly like not that specifically, but it's partly why a lot of dancers are started super young. For ballet dancers, it's because they want the joints to literally develop in a way that is good for dancing, that people who do not dance, their muscles and joints don't develop that way. But also, like, there's a lot of experiences like, you know, being used to seeing all of yourself in a mirror and having that level of knowledge of your personal body in order to manipulate it. Doing it when they're small is easier because then it's a new experience while they're still experiencing a lot of other new stuff. So it becomes easier for them.
Yeah.
I spent my childhood watching Digimon, and that's what's wrong with me.
I spent my childhood watching Naruto, so you know.
That explains so much.
Yeah.
Hello? Can I move away? Thank you.
No.
Tegan says, I want to see something that fucks me up. You would. You would.
Yeah, you know, go, like, legitimately go sit on a boat just in the middle of the fucking water where you can't see land for a little bit. It'll fucking ruin your life. What horror movie do you want to watch? True, I have a whole list.
Well, the horror movie thing is interesting because, as we've discussed on this Cobblepod previously, because it is fictional, it's essentially allowing you to experience terrifying things in a safe environment. So it's not quite the same thing as having it appear in front of you, you know?
Yeah. I've been on a boat in the ocean. Listen. I was a small child.
Weren't we all? Weren't we all? Tegan says, I've seen the stars unbroken in the dark. They're fine. Chewing thoughtfully. They're okay.
Yeah.
I think the most mind-breaking thing I've ever experienced. It's kind of low key, but I didn't fly on a plane until I was in my 20s.
Same.
So the first time being in an airplane, seeing the ground below us, like that was like, holy fucking shit, holy fucking shit, holy fucking shit. But that's the majority of it. That's the most.
I flew for the first time in like conscious because I flew once when I was like 6 months old. That doesn't count. I don't remember that far back. But I flew for the first time when I was like 20, I think, like right at 20. And I remember very vividly having the thought of like, why the fuck are people complaining about like this fucking wild and amazing thing?
I guess Sheila is not at a point she to go to sleep then.
It would appear so.
Do I have a kick function? I don't know if kicking would ban Sheila from the server entirely, so I'm gonna choose not to test it.
Sheila!
It's fine. Chat was gonna look at a black screen anyway.
Right? Horror movies are scary bad. I will cry, Lamau.
Yeah, same.
There we go.
I cannot do spoopy shit. I have such low tolerance for it. Tegan says, I should see Hail Mary, though. Tegan, my beautiful wife, cried trying to explain the plot of Hail Mary to me. She went and she saw it in theaters, and she came back a changed woman. So, yes, you should go watch that movie. I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list. Tegan says, I like Blorbo Man and Rock. Yeah, everyone loves Blorbo Man and Rock. I will tell beautiful wife that you love her, Jen. I will also tell her that I love her, because I love her very, very much. When I was working on my Jellyfin server, I posted about this, but I'll retell the story here. I reached a point where I had the laptop. It was running the server. I had my hard drive plugged in with the media on it that I wanted to display. And it was working over the wireless. But I wanted to have a more stable connection. So I was like, I need to have an Ethernet jack because I want to set this up to just sit and stay. I don't want the wireless connection to blink out and have to re-log in whenever the internet comes back online. I want it to be hard plugged in. So I look up on my phone, I pull up Walmart, and I'm like, do you have an Ethernet to USB dongle? And Walmart said, we do. We do have an Ethernet to USB dongle for your laptop that does not have an Ethernet plug. And I said, fantastic. Do you have it at my local store? And it said, we do. We do have it at your local store. And I went, this is tempting. So I talked to my wife, and I say to her, darling, you know how when you want to eat out, even though you're on a doctor-required diet, and you tell me that I have to be strong for you to deny you that fast food. She says, yes, I'm aware of that very well. I said, I need you to be strong for me and tell me, no, we can't go to Walmart at 6 p.m. because we've already been out today, and I'm just going to get a dongle for a thing that's not important, and I can order online for super fucking cheap anyway. I'm just being impatient. And she thinks to herself for like all of 3 seconds, and she goes, we can go to Walmart. I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah, I need some shampoo. And she got up and started putting clothes on to go to Walmart. And I'm stood there in my PJ pants, like a little in shock. I'm like, this was not the plan. So we get dressed again, and we go out and we go to Walmart, and we get her shampoo. We pick up some other stuff from the house. She wanted some apples, so we get her some apples. We go electronics section. They are out of the dongle. The website lied to me.
Oh
no. There is a Staples a few streets over from our Walmart. So I look at her while we're cashing out at Walmart with a sheepish look, and I'm like, Jessica, since we're already in town, can we go look at the Staples? And she goes, does their website say they have it in stock? And I'm like, the Staples website does not allow me to look at stuff in the individual stores. It doesn't have that functionality, unlike Walmart. But apparently Walmart doesn't work anyway, so it's kind of a wash one way or the other. And she goes, yeah, no, we can look. So we're driving. And it occurs to us that there is an Office Depot equidistant between the Walmart and the Staples. And we were like, both of us were like, wait a minute, that shit's operating again? Because like 2 hurricanes ago, it got hit real bad and the place was shut down. And we didn't realize they had fixed it back up. So she's like, hell yeah, we'll turn around and we will go to Office Depot and check there first. So we managed to make our way back to the Office Depot. This is like a 10-minute detour to get into that parking lot. And we walk up to it and we look at it and we're like, hey, I don't think it's open. The website said they're open till 9 p.m., but it looks kind of dead. So we walk up to it. All the lights are on. The grate has been closed to seal the doors off. And there is a handwritten sign saying we close at 7 now. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're going to Staples. So we go
Not
to...
even a typed and printed sign?
No, it was handwritten and taped up onto the glass. So we go to Staples. And we go in, and I'm like, please, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please. So I'm walking the aisles, and I find the right section, and I'm looking at the stuff. Beautiful wife has gone off to look at, like, planners and stationery, and she comes and she finds me, and I'm kind of sitting there in the middle of the aisle just staring at the wall. And she says, do they have it? And I say, kind of. And she's like, what do you mean, kind of? And I said, they have a dongle that does what I need it to do, but also it does 6 other things and is therefore $70.
Oh my god.
And she's like, oh, so close and yet so far. And I go, and yet so far. So I didn't get my dongle. It's like $10 if I order it from Walmart online. So when I get paid again, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Do it as part of a bulk order of other stuff to make it worth the while. So I didn't get my dongle, but I will eventually. The music cut out for some reason.
It's done.
There we go. Yeah, no. It just stopped playing. It said, I don't want them anymore. All right. Poor dongless Gata. Well, no. We're not going there. We're not going there.
Stricken from the record.
I'm dongled and I'm proud. Gotta. You're the one who said it first, Jun. Anyway.
Can I tell you some bullshit about some people you'll never meet and don't know?
Sure. Jun is desperately trying to get me to read his corrections, and I'm ignoring him because it's funnier if I don't. I can't hear you, Jun. I have headphones on.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, Boomer, by all means, please do go on.
So, my mom is currently living with her best friend of many years.
Okay, neat.
And her best friend's daughter. And said best friend's other daughter lives in the same apartment complex with her son, but does not live with them.
Okay.
So her birthday is in the middle of June, and she went to visit her boyfriend up in New England somewhere. I don't fucking remember where. for her birthday, and she left her son with his grandmother, my mom's best friend.
Okay.
She also left her Snap EBT card and was like, hey, use it to buy my son groceries while he's staying with you for the week. Which is a totally understandable request, right?
Right.
She was like, just leave me some money on the card so that when I get back, I can buy groceries for the rest of the month. She gets like $3.50 on that card for her and her son.
Is this a ha-ha story or an oh-no story?
This is a no-no story.
Oh, no! Okay.
She gets $350 on that card for the whole month for her and her son, right?
Uh-huh.
And her mom's like, yeah, no, totally. Now, here's an important qualifier. Her mom, my mom's best friend, and her other daughter, who lives with my mom and her best friend, make enough money that they don't qualify for EBT benefits.
Okay.
My mom qualifies for EBT benefits, and her daughter qualifies for EBT benefits because she has a kid.
Mm-hmm.
This woman spent all $350 fucking dollars of her Snap in a week.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea what the fallout of that is yet, because I haven't talked to my mom again, but been... My mom got so pissed off she left and went to stay with a different friend for a couple of days. She was like, you're a fucking monster. I can't look at you.
That's wild.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking about this all fucking week. Like, it has pissed me off all week.
So here's my thing, right? Beautiful wife and I, we will go shopping at Aldi, and we will, if we were to only shop at Aldi, we could spend $200 a week easy, right?
Yeah.
For two adults, two grown adults, multiple animals, we own a house, we maintain the house, okay?
Yeah.
I don't understand how people shop at, like, a Publix or like a larger grocery store. We go to Walmart for like one or two things and somehow it ends up being $70. So I can understand how you could end up spending all of your stuff in a week. But $350 knowing that's what they have for the month and just blowing it? What the fuck?
Yeah. No, so here's the thing. I go to HEB because I live in Texas, right? And that's what we do out here.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you get your groceries somewhere else, you're like a class trader. You go to HEB.
I see.
Like, I asked my mom for some assistance with money. She's like, I can spare like $100 to help you. I got enough groceries to feed myself for 2 weeks on $100. Like, it is not hard.
You have to be careful what you're eating, and you probably have to eat a lot of like bread and filler and stuff, but it's doable.
Yeah, I got a lot of like shelf stable stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? But like, it is possible. It is possible to do that. He's like 12. He doesn't have like a sophisticated fucking palate.
Mm-hmm.
Feed the kid shit that has some veggies in it and call it a day. Like, it is not that hard to feed a fucking 12-year-old. Like, oh my god. I've been seething about this for a fucking week. Like, I've been so fucking pissed off about this shit.
I have to go get some more cobble. I've run out.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Gonna
wild.
chase you down.
That's a nightmare, really.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
I can't imagine what goes through your head that somebody else handed you their money and was like, hey, don't spend all of this, and then you do. Like, HEB was the fancy grocery. Not anymore.
Oh dear. I have more cobble, June. I just have to go down and get it from my stores, you see.
Especially not where I live, because we have shit like Aldi's and stuff, and like, that's... There's a bear. There's a couple
like
bears.
3 bears. Ah, it was a jump button. I got so scared of the bears that I pressed the wrong button.
Launched.
You know what? We should probably deal with those bears before they become a problem. The last thing I want is them to wander over here when we're trying to sleep during the night, you know?
Yeah. Where'd they go? Oh, bear.
There's 3 of them that I saw.
Yeah, I saw him too.
And now there's a big bear! This is a big bear! He's got shit in his head! Oh, fuck!
Guys.
Oh, God. Okay, black bear. Hi, bear. Okay, that's 1 down.
I'm hitting the cursed bear. Ow.
A what? A cursed bear?
Cursed bear.
Oh, my God.
Here goes. He dropped 19 essences of the void.
What?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's wild.
I'm actually really glad we took care of that now instead of waiting for them to come find us. Because that could have been much worse.
We shopped at La Tienda en el Mercado. Yeah. No, for sure.
Oh. Another bear.
There's another one. Grizzly. Ow.
There we go.
That one
Thank
hurt.
you, thank you. I got a crude arrow out of him. Bunch of hides, some wild meat. Not bad. Alright. They will probably respawn at some point, but at least they'll be back at their start point. You want some food, man?
Yeah. No, I got my kebabs.
Okay.
I'm just regenning. I'm waiting for the regen to run out.
New bears, they're cursed, apparently.
Yeah, no, HEB used to be the fancy man's grocery store. It is no longer.
I almost forgot to grab Cobble. The thing that I came down here for in the first place.
Yeah, especially because Albertsons is Market Street now, and they jacked up all their fucking prices.
All right. Let's head back on up. And actually...
We used to have a...
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
We used to have a taco stand near my school when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
And those people knew us by fucking name. It was great.
Oh, man. We've been getting a lot of use out of our Costco membership. To the point where, like, I wish we had gotten a Costco membership years ago. Like, it's just so useful to buy things in bulk, and it's so much cheaper at the end. Like, you do spend, like, $200 to $300 once a month for a single trip, but then, like, aside from small things and, like, perishables that you can get elsewhere, like, it just lasts you the month. It's so good. It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
To say nothing of the gas. Oh my god. Gas is like 30 cents cheaper with a Costco membership.
Oh yeah, and they usually run cheaper compared to nearby places, and then you get the benefits of having the membership.
Yeah. The only thing that we don't have is my credit is too shit for one of their cards, so I can't get like cash back on the gas on top of everything else.
Yeah.
We could min-max that shit, but not currently. No, my credit's too bad for that. The Costco powdered laundry detergent lasts us like 8 to 12 months. Okay, so I don't buy laundry detergent every single time. I'm talking about food specifically, Aya. Jesus. We probably should switch over to the powdered stuff, but we use the sauce, the laundry sauce.
The powdered shit's like way better for your clothes and like lasts longer.
Yeah, but it doesn't smell as nice, you know? Let me be a little bit bougie. No, if we were smart...
I mean, it's your laundry, man. I can't stop you.
True. Aya says, no, I'm proselytizing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Preach to me, Aya. Preach to me. Aya's vegging me to try it. Is that a reference? A Farmer Gotta reference? I don't know how to pronounce proselytizing. Is that correct? No? Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, proselytizing, that's correct.
Proselytizing. Okay. Everyone's so mean to me. I'm the big-cheeked frog in the shower. Everyone's so mean to me.
No, you thought Chicago was in Massachusetts. I'm not gonna let that shit go.
Oh. On that note, we're gonna go to break. I'm gonna get a snack and cry a little, and then I'll come back to be bullied some more. Oh.
Oh.
All right, I am gonna go get something to eat real quick.
Yeah.
So be right
No, do your thing.
back. All right. Boomer's headed out to get lunch. Okay. And Aya's in chat losing their shit, apparently. You found out you've been doing something wrong since late April and no one said anything until now. That's the worst. Of course, I come back and it's nighttime already. That's the literal fucking worst. Like, there were chances, multiple chances, for someone to prevent you from making that mistake, and they just didn't. Is Sheila still on? No, it's just me. Okay. Just little old me. Just little old me, and you guys, of course. And, of course, the you can't really see it, but the pixel art of Toffee in the hole. Is this what you were talking about before? Is this what you were talking about when you wanted to yell about work? All right. Now, back to putting some stone into a bigger stone. I'm going to make a whole pizza and then I can hop back on. No rush, man. No rush. Pizza. Yeah, no. Beautiful wife was yelled at by her doctor. Not yelled, but sternly spoken to. About the fact that we eat out a little too frequently. Her liver values were a little higher than they should be. And they were like, girl. And she's like, okay, fine. So we have she is on what is essentially a pre-diabetic diet. Not that she's pre-diabetic. So that means very few carbs, very few sugars, lots of protein, lots of veg, and eating out like McDonald's grist on a bun is not on the docket. So we were like, okay, well, we got to stop just getting little sodies when we're out and about. We got to stop just picking up, just a McChicken here or there, just tide us over. We can't do that anymore. We can't do that anymore. And she's like, we can't have Costco pizza dates. And I said, well, hold on. Well, hold on. No one said anything about Costco pizza dates. We can't. No, I'm putting my foot down. I'll fight your doctor. We have to have Costco pizza dates. It's very important to me. And she goes, okay, fine. But we have to make sure we're only having them when we were already going to go to Costco. And I said, yes, we will only go on Costco pizza dates if we are going to Costco to purchase groceries. So like topping up the gas is not an excuse for Costco pizza. This problem is, now that we've established that, we look at each other and we both know the other one wants to suggest Costco pizza. And so we have to very quickly come up with an excuse as to why we need to go to Costco to buy something that isn't Costco pizza to justify then getting Costco pizza. So it's very much a cart before the horse kind of thing. And we're both aware of it, but we haven't tried to solve the issue yet. It's funny. I think it's funny. Getting confirmation from the government that you're doing it correct to be told that it's being incorrect is the fucking worst. Again, I can't share too many specifics, but because my work involves loads of money, we have to write checks to move funds from certain accounts to others on a daily basis as business moves. And apparently, there is two particular checks that the overnight crew have to write. They are both coming from the same account and going to the same account. And for years, they've complained because, writing a check, it's not like they have a book and they open it up and they scribble and they hand it over. Like, it's an entire process. They have to document it. They have to document the writing, they document the procedure. It's a whole thing. So they've always been like, why can't we just have one check going from one source to another source? And they've been told over the years, well, we need to have this in this order. We have to make sure we can track that. And it's like, okay, fine. There's reasons. We'll do it. It's okay. Yesterday, one of our other locations was having a conversation with the boss, and they brought it up, and they were like, yeah, the one check from that account to the other account. My boss was like, excuse me? And they go, yeah, no. Like, we only write one check. We've been doing that for years. It didn't make any sense for us to be writing 2 checks from the same account to the same account. So like 3 years back, we changed it. And my boss was like, we've been told by so-and-so that we have to do that differently. And other guys like, oh, well, I asked so-and-so who's above so-and-so. And they said, yeah, it's fine. And we've been doing it and there's been no problems. And my boss is just like head in hands, like, okay, all right. So good news for the night crew. They were informed last night, hey, we only write 1 check now. And there was much rejoicing. Much, much rejoicing. Let me think, what else? What else has gone in my life? It's been 2 weeks. I've spent most of it trying to relax, trying not to get overly excited about anything, about not trying to start new projects, considering. Yeah. Oh, victory. Thank you. Thank you so much. You can't hear the fanfare, but it's playing for me. Let me try and recreate it verbally. Doodle doo doo doodle doodle doo 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 dooby 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 doo. And then a monkey makes noises over it while shaking his hands in victory. Oh, I want to ask about just going to the ER after last stream. Is that something you're going to talk about at this point? Yeah, but you're going to get upset about it because there's no resolution. So last stream, a few hours in, beautiful wife came home hours early from when she was normally get off work and said, we are going to the ER. This has gotten worse. A week before, the Friday before that stream, my beautiful wife had noticed that she was experiencing tingling and loss of sensation in her good side. From her arm to her leg, there was a constant static sensation. That's neurological. That's her nerves. So she went to the ER. The ER she went to kept her overnight because the ER took her seriously and said, that sounds bad. So they got in her room, and it was late at night. And I was already at work at that point, so I had to Uber home. So she went to the ER, and they kept her overnight. And they said, we'll have our neurologist, our local neurosurgeon, look at you in the morning. They took some, like, scans, they did some blood work, and they essentially just made her comfy. Gave her some pain meds to try to take the edge off. The next morning, I call out of work. I go in to the hospital the moment that it's available. And she's mostly fine. She still has the sensation is weird. And she hasn't seen anybody yet. So we hang around for a couple of hours, and it's about noon before the nurses catch up with us because we were waiting for 9 o'clock to hit for the neurosurgeon to even be in the building. And then he had other patients before us who were in worse condition, so obviously he handles them first. The nurses come in a little before noon, and they say, hey, so we took your scans, and we showed them to the neurosurgeon, and he said he won't operate on you, so go home. He basically said, whatever is wrong with you is not important enough for me to bother with. I don't see a need for immediate surgery. Therefore, it's not our problem. You should go talk to your primary care provider. So that was a big waste of time. And like, it's $700 per visit, I must stress. Like this, we don't go to the ER willy-nilly because it just adds to the mountain of medical debt that we're already like dealing with. It doesn't increase the medical debt in a way that matters, considering she's had multiple serious surgeries over the years that we're still working on paying off and probably will never pay off. But So it's like, wow, okay, neat. They did give her some like different pain meds. The attending doctors were like, well, we can't send her with nothing. So, there we go. Let me get this in here. So they sent her with some different muscle relaxers than she normally takes. They made some small alterations to her medications, but most of that was just for her comfort, not to actually find and solve the problem. So you're like, well, okay. So we call up her PCP. They can't see her until later in the week. We call up her pain management doctor because they're the ones that deal with the injury in her back. They can't see her till the end of July. So like a month and a half would have to pass before she sees someone who has the authority to be like, no, this is serious. You have to do something. So that wasn't fun. So she was just like, this is my new normal now. I just have to live like this. And we moved on with our life, I guess. That Thursday rolled around and she came home and she says, it's gotten noticeably worse. We're going back to the ER. But we went to a different hospital, a more expensive hospital because it is a Catholic hospital, but it is not this. It's privately owned. So it's not the same as the other one, which is government funded and therefore the service is shit. So we go there and thank God everyone takes her seriously there at first. The nurses hear her story. She tells them that the previous ER didn't give us any actual medical assistance and sent us home. We can't see anyone who knows her personally to even begin to get her seen at, and the sensation is getting worse. So they're like, okay, yeah, no, that's serious. So they put her in a room, and this time they have a telemed neurosurgeon, a neurologist on call. So they wheel in the giant robot. There's a screen and there's cameras. And there's a black lady on the other end. And she immediately takes Jessica completely seriously. She has the attending nurse inspect certain areas, like touching and holding and making her lift her arms and stuff. And just from being able to see how Jessica moves over telemed, she narrowed down almost to like a very specific vertebrae where in her spinal column the issue is coming from. It's something to do with her neck, slightly to the left side, and much higher than normal. So what her theory is the same theory that we had, which is that her protrusion of a disc, which is what caused her to become paralyzed in the first place, has shifted. And instead of pressing directly on the column, like it did previously to cut off sensation, it's creating pressure because she's a very narrow spinal column where there's nowhere for the disc to push out into, so it's crowding into the spinal column's nerve space. And that's why the sensation is not of it being cut off, but of pressure being placed on it to limit the connection between her arm and her brain. She still has full motor control, but her ability to lift she's weaker than normal. So the neurologist is like, we're going to get you in for imaging to figure out exactly where the issue is, but you're most likely going to need to have a surgical intervention. And my beautiful wife says there's a problem with that because when she was paralyzed from the waist down, she lost motor control of her muscles from the waist down. She had to relearn how to walk. She had to relearn. Her muscles didn't atrophy, but because she had to regrow all the nerves that went dead during the time they were cut off, she no longer had control over the muscles that managed her bladder. So she was unable to send the signal to the muscles to say like, hey, I'm trying to pee, relax so I can pee. She was unable to control that part of her ability to urinate. So they turned her into a cyborg. They installed what was essentially a little pack that was attached to a cell phone. And when she pressed the button on the cell phone, it would send a signal to the pack, which would send a small electrical current through the area, which would force her muscles to relax so she could relieve herself. She only needed it for a short time, but because it was an entire, like, it was a needed medical intervention, but removing it would have been another 6 weeks recovery after the fact. And the doctors were like, the pack is good for 10 years. It is some technology. I joked and called her a pissborg, which she wasn't thrilled about, but she did find humor in me telling everyone that my wife was Bluetooth compatible. So, the surgeon said, we're going to leave it in. We're going to remove it at the 10-year mark, just in case another emergency with this happens and you end up being paralyzed again. We'd rather have it in you and ready to go in case you need it, instead of having to reinstall it later. I remember that. I didn't realize that's just there now, even when it's not needed. Well, that's the problem, because she has robot bits in her, which means that she cannot have an MRI. Because MRI is a big magnet. And if the magnet turn on, the metal bits get ripped out of the fleshy bits. And that's very bad. That's very bad. So she tells the neurologist, I have that bladder stimulant, so I can't have an MRI. Which is a problem because the MRI would give a very quick and easy answer. There is an MRI. It is called a C. I don't think it's CRT. It's C something T. And essentially, it's where they inject a bunch of dye into the area they want to inspect, rotate her so the dye coats the area inside her body, and then essentially take a form of X-ray that will read the color so they can visualize the nerves better to understand where the issue is. It is not an expensive alternative, but because it is more involved and more invasive and the MRIs are just easier, insurance generally will not approve it unless a doctor says this is needed. And that's where we were left off. After the neurologist said, I'm going to order, they do one of those. CT scan. Yes. Thank you. I'm going to order one of those because you cannot have an MRI. We need to find out what's going on in there. And yeah, that's our only option. Good luck. And they wheel the doctor out. The ER doctor comes in, a white man, and he's hemming and he's hawing. He's like, I'm just not sure all this is needed. Are you sure you can't just talk to your primary in the morning? And Jessica had to put her foot down. And she said, the symptoms have progressed noticeably in a very short time window. This affects my quality of life. The PCP and the other doctor are out until July. At this rate, I am going to lose all feeling in my arm before I receive any medical care. This is my option. I need that CT scan. And the doctor goes, okay, yep, understand, sure, got it, sure. I was so proud of my wife. So he said, here's the problem. It is already past closing time for the hospital. Our imaging guys have gone home. We cannot do the procedure until the insurance approves of it in the morning. So we're going to submit it, and we're going to keep you overnight. Because if the CT scan were an outpatient, as in they scheduled it for later, and my wife went home and came back, it would be on a different queue compared to all the patients who are admitted to the hospital. Because the premise is that if you are bad off enough that you need to stay in the hospital overnight, you are first in line for whatever it is you need. So in order to avoid having to wait until the end of July for a CT scan, they kept her overnight. And in the meantime, they were like, we are going to try to contact the urologist who installed your stimulant to verify the exact make and model to make sure that it cannot go into an MRI machine. Because based on the timeline, the doctor said, you should not have received a model that was not made to be compatible with MRI machines. Like, this happened too relatively recently for that. Like, you should have received the standard model unless they installed a less than ideal one, which is another problem in and of itself. So we'll try and contact the urologist. They're closed, so they probably won't get it to us in the morning. And then tomorrow we'll have all the stuff done. So I go home. I leave my wife behind. They get her into her room. The next day, she sees a doctor. And the doctor says, your insurance is being cagey on the CT scan. They really want you to have an MRI. So what we're doing is we're going to call your urologist. We're going to inform the MRI staff that you are going to possibly have an MRI, so they are prepared for you. And once we have confirmation one way or the other, we'll either push on the insurance to give us a CT scan or get you in on the MRI. And Jessica was like, okay. The entire day passes. I mean, the entire day passes. She's sitting in that room. They bring her her food. They make sure that she's comfy. She reads a book. She crochets a little. She sits there all day, misses a whole day of work. I'm trying not to be stressed because I know she's somewhere safe. But my concern is that they're really pushing for this MRI. And there is a non-zero chance that an MRI will make my wife explode. There should be a 0% chance before you decide you're going to do something of a wife exploding. Like, to me, the fact that there's even a 1% chance is not okay with me. Like, that's my wife. I love her. I like her not exploded. Thank you. So the whole fucking day passes. I leave work. I go to see her. And at this point, the nurses are like realizing something's not right. They're like, you're still here, huh? And Jessica goes, yeah, I haven't heard back from anyone. You guys were trying to contact my urologist, right? To see if I could get an MRI. And they go, yeah, we're going to go see where the doctor is on that. Because the doctor saw her at 9 a.m. At this point, it is almost 5 p.m. They find the doctor, and she goes, oops, I must have forgot to put those orders in. So the MRI folk had no idea my wife was there. The urologist never received a phone call. She was just sitting pretty for no goddamn good reason the entire day. The MRI folk were already planning to leave for the day. They were done. And the worst part was, this was Friday. They are a religious hospital. Half their staff aren't there on the weekends. So the earliest that anyone would have been able to do anything would have been Monday fucking morning. And because she wasn't in enough danger to warrant her keeping the bed for the entire weekend, she was booted back out to the outpatient queue. Which means even if they were able to get the information on Monday morning, she would have had to schedule possibly weeks out. I told you that this was going to make you mad. I've had my time to sit with it. This has been a nightmare. To the hospital's credit, the nurses were fucking pissed. Like, I have seen some nurses be like the polite smile where they're like really mad, but they don't say anything about it because they're like, oh, the doctor hasn't seen you yet? Well, I'll take care of that. No, the nurses were straight up like, I cannot believe they would do this to you. I cannot believe. She's a young doctor, but she knows better. She knows better. This is absolutely, yeah. Raging is only going to get us so far. So, what's worse is that come Monday, Jessica did manage to get a hold of the urologist. And she said, hey, I need to know the make and model of the thing that you surgically installed and attached to my spinal column when I was paralyzed from the waist down about 6 or so years ago. You have that on record, right? Chat? They don't have the records. Whether it was something lost or something not properly documented at the time, they turned my wife into a pissborg without writing down the fucking doodad they shoved into her body. They just don't have it. So even if there was a possibility of her pissborginess being converted into an MRI safe mode, we will never know for sure. So the thing is, during discovering what kind of pissborg she is, I keep saying pissborg like I'm not fucking livid. I have to have some levity. We found the doodad that connects to it, the little smartphone. The smartphone still turns on, but it cannot register the doodad they installed in her. Jun, I hate to be this guy, but this is just how Florida medical works. This is how American medical works. The doodad no longer connects to this thing that is in her spine, which means even though it was supposed to last for a decade and still be operational when it was removed, it isn't. So she has a dead battery pack just sitting in her flesh, just minding its own goddamn business, preventing her from receiving medical care. This last week, she first of all, she called the neurologist. She called a neurologist and she said, "This is my situation. I cannot get into my pain doctor for a referral. How can I get seen by you?" And they said, "You can get a referral to the neurosurgeon with your PCP." The insurance hasn't been involved yet. We have not even started considering the possibility of her having surgery to remove the doodad. That would be weeks of recovery. Like, it's not like surface level, they cut her open, put a bandage on and move out. And this is like in the bottom of her spine. Like, this is a whole-on installation. This is America. Gun goes off. Yeah. That's how it feels. So the neurologist says, "Go be seen by your PCP and get a referral." She goes, "Okay." Mind you, this is after like trying to call the neurologist for like 3 days and not getting a hold of them. She calls her PCP, goes to voicemail. Doesn't hear from them for 2 more days. Schedule an appointment for later in the week. Calls them, gets a hold of them, and they say, "We cannot give you a referral. You have to talk to your pain management." And Jessica's like, "My pain management cannot see me until July, and the neurologist mentioned you by name as being someone who can give me a referral." So she calls the neurologist back. Again, like a day passes by in between these phone calls. And she verifies that, yes, a referral from the PCP will work to get her in to be seen. So she gets a hold of the PCP. She gets an appointment scheduled. She goes to the appointment. They give her the referral. She contacts the neurologist. She says, "Here is the referral. When can I be seen?" And bless her heart, the lady on the other end of the line is as pissed as we are. Because, like, we can't see the neurologist without the referral, or it completely comes out of pocket. So, like, we need this paper trail or the insurance won't cover any of it. And we cannot get ourselves into that much debt. The neurologist says, "You have to contact your PCP. They gave you a referral to the wrong person. They gave you a referral to, like, it's either they gave her a referral to the neurosurgeon and she needs to see the neurologist, or they gave her a referral to a neurologist and she needs to see the neurosurgeon. One of the two." That was Monday. She has not been able to contact her PCP. She's been calling and leaving messages. She has not received a call back since, because chances are they're going to require her to come in and be seen again for the proper referral. This entire time, her arm is on tenterhooks. She is experiencing numbness and tingling, and she's just accepted it as part of her day-to-day now. Like, this is just her normal. Yes, Jun, it is Thursday. It is Thursday. She might have received a call by today. I don't know. I haven't seen her since she went off to work. But that is where we are at. So yeah. The biggest concern is that this will get worse. We are concerned that this is going to continue to escalate before we receive any assistance, and she could lose the use of her left arm, which is unfortunately the side of her body that has the most sensation. So we're trying not to think too much about it, but that's where we're at. That's where we're at. When I tell stories about how our life goes, I have to preface it that I don't think I am a naturally negative individual, right? I don't try and find things to complain about. I like complaining, but when things are good, they're good, you know? So whenever I tell someone about the shit show that happened to me this week, part of me always feels the need to be like, I promise I'm not making this up or exaggerating for effect. Like, part of me always feels like people don't believe me because it's comical how much bullshit we go through. And not all of it is self-inflicted. I self-inflict a lot of dumb shit on myself. This isn't one of them. So. Yep. That is how things have gone with my beautiful wife's arm since last stream. Shrug emoji. We are coming up on 3 weeks since she initially went. No, it sounds par for the course. I'm not worried about you exaggerating. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks since the symptoms were bad enough that she went to the ER in the first place. And we have yet to receive any care. And we have an amount of extra money in medical debt that I am trying not to think about. Y'all should just go to the doctor's office and camp there with a sign, God. No, that's how you get shot, Jun. We're in Florida. Even though we're white, that's how you get shot. Oh, dear. Anyway, let's talk about something a little nicer, perhaps. Those bears haven't respawned, thankfully. All right. The whole thing is wild to me. It is pretty wild, honestly, but that's my life. Oh, am I on a cobble? No, thank God. I was gonna say, I can't be on a cobble. Sweet Jesus. I do have to do some cobble mining in between streams, though, because we are reaching the end of the stash that I have. Let's see. Let's do this math. All right. Chat, what is 65 by 65? Do that for me real quick. Be my little calculators for me. And when I get up there, I'll count how many layers we've done already. Give or take the missing blocks for the stairs. All right, Jen, now you're just bothering me. I don't do math. Where's Rocky? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have almost 11 layers done. 4,225. All right? Multiply that by 11 for me. And that is approximately how many blocks we've already placed. Give or take a layer. You know. We're actually making some pretty decent progress. Yeah, multiply it by 11. We've done 11 layers, and there's 4,225 per layer. So 11 layers is how many blocks there are. We've placed 46,475, and we need 270 blocks total. So we're not quite a quarter of the way there, but I'd say we're almost a fifth of the way, I believe. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. And it's only been what? We did like 5 hours the first stream, 3 hours the second, and this has been 3 hours here. We're probably going to get to 4 hours. So only about 12 hours, and we're a fifth of the way there. Hold on a minute. 12 hours, fifth of the way there. Hold on. I need to make sure God sees these. Sees what? I get to cat sit my crazy cat lesbian friends. 6 or 7 cats. They are going to Chicago, Massachusetts. Anyway. It should only take us about 2.5 days worth of cobblestoning to complete the cube, which is a lot quicker than I anticipated it being, frankly. Honestly, it helps that I'm not doing like 2-hour max streams. I'm trying to aim for 4 to 6. I'm only going to do 4 today. I didn't stream last week. I'm still kind of tired. And next week, we're not cobblepodding at all, actually. Next week, we're doing something entirely different. Which I do need. Plus the 3 to 5 days of the gathering. You know what? That is fair. That is fair. I did not counter in the fact that I am going to spend a lot of time off camera. I'm trying to justify. I'm trying to downplay how much time this thing takes so I feel better about myself, okay? I'm doing my best. I'm trying, I swear. Oh, Lord. All right. So, I need a topic to ramble about. Somebody give me a topic to ramble about. Preferably not drama. I don't really want to ramble about drama. There are things that I could, but nah. Nah. Sonic's birthday was 2 days ago. Happy birthday, Sonic. He's 35, which is how... What did you do for Sonic's birthday? Rocky Die, same wavelength. Sonic. Got it. I did not do anything special this year. Honestly, with how busy my day job has been, it really kind of crept up on me. I wasn't prepared for it this year, so I didn't decorate, didn't make a cake or anything. I spent the day... reposting Blue Sky fan art and my greatest hits of Sonic-related posts. So that was fun. That was a good time. I do have a copy of Sonic X that I finished ripping. All 3 seasons. There were 60-something episodes. That sounds about right. Of the whole series. So I have those all ripped. I'm planning on giving it a watch, at least the 3rd season. But I didn't start it like I should have done. Honestly, Tuesday, it was just kind of chill, you know? Actually, no. That was the day that I made my Jellyfin server. So that's how I spent my day celebrating. Not Sonic, but apparently as an anniversary merchandise, they're releasing custom cartridges that are compatible with the Genesis / Mega Drive that have Sonic 1 and 2 on them. But they're blind boxing it. So you buy one, and there's a 1 in 8 chance that it comes out with a special color cartridge that has like a neon color to it, which is fine. But the whole thing is $99 a pop. What's really funny is that if I wanted to go and get an actual cartridge, like an original cartridge, I can get them for like less than $20 on eBay. So a lot of people are kind of clowning on that, being like, I'm not going to spend $100 for a blind bag Genesis game. Also, apparently the company that made it has a history of doing that sort of thing. And one of their, I think, Street Fighter releases had the risk of a percentage chance of exploding if you plugged it into an actual Genesis. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about that. Rocky says, I have one. There's a company that's helping Neo Geo and Atari bring their classic consoles to market. They're rumored to be working with a third company. If it was a Sega console, which one would you want to be resurrected? This is a never ever. It's not happening ever, but it would have to be the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was a beautiful little system. I don't own one. I desperately need to. I need to go through the process of getting one because only so many exist and they only get more expensive as the years go by. But it was so full functioned. It had the capability to become what the Wii eventually did. It missed out on the normie market, but it's the abilities of the Dreamcast. Its internet connectivity. People say that things were ahead of their time, but the Dreamcast, considering where video game consoles went, like the generation right afterwards, it was very, very ahead of its time. I don't even know if I'd want more Dreamcast titles. I just want Dreamcast services. Like, I mean, there's open source and homebrew ways to take a Dreamcast and make it fully functional again. Like, people have set up servers so you can use the web browsing feature, so you can make use of all of its features. It isn't the same because it's not really hosted by Sega. It's recreating services from the past. I would love for that to be available on the market again, but you know, I'm just gonna have to do what everyone else does and mod and homebrew my own if I really want it that badly. And my money is currently aiming for other things. So it's one of those projects where it's like, I'd love to do it, but I probably will never get around to it. Official support, though. Hot damn. Hot diggity damn. But yeah, the thing about both Neo Geo and Atari, mostly Neo Geo, is that it was bought out by... Okay, so here's the thing, right? I'd want the Dreamcast too, but I'm pretty sure it'll be Game Gear. Game Gear, I don't have nostalgia for it, so my opinion of it isn't great. If they could create a Game Gear that had, honestly, just a Game Gear with a rechargeable battery pack, now that I say that out loud, I can just mod that, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would want the Game Gear back. I think, all right, this is a little outside the bounds of the question. This is kind of going against the spirit, right? I think that the perfect gaming handheld, in terms of form, not function, right? I'm not trying to be limited by the technology of what would fit in it. Just the style and the use of it, right? I think that the best handheld video game console of all time that isn't the DS was the original non-backlit GameCube. I love the SP. Don't get me wrong. I prefer to play the SP. but just the ergonomics of that original Game Boy Advance, how it fit in your hand, the method in which you moved in it, the cartridges, the connectivity. The DS blows everything else out of the water, but I wish it hadn't been so utilitarian. It's a rectangle, and I really wish that it had had a little more of the Nintendo flair. They tried with the new 3DS and having like the covers interchangeable. The original Game Boy, I respect it. I will still play games on the original Game Boy. The Game Boy Advance, though, just the style of that thing, that is where it's at. It's why I love the Wii U so much. Because even though the gamepad was also like very square, it had the same kind of ergonomics design to it that we hadn't seen during the 3DS era that I just really, really liked. I really, really liked. Rocky says, I'm salivating to change out my phone's OS into the DS. You know what? You know what? Fair. Aya says, one of my first consoles was my mom's GBA. Yeah. I wish we lived in the world where console cycles were like 20 years instead of like 7. Yes, but also no. For me, I miss being young enough that a console generation felt like forever. Right? I miss being young enough that the passage of time wasn't so quick. I play on my original Switch. I have a launch version of the original Switch, the very first version that came to market before any revisions or anything else. I was there day one. And man, that poor little thing is chugging. And it's not like a maintenance thing. It's just, it's old. I've played it to hell and back. Each new game that comes out pushes it harder and harder. I feel like the decade that the Switch has existed is just long enough for me to think it was worth the investment. I don't mind the Switch 2 existing in terms of like, the Switch works just fine. Not in the same way as I felt when the 3DS came out, when like the DS was still going strong, and they're like, now we're going to give you a new console that is slightly more powerful but does mostly the same things. Like the DS could have gone on for longer. The Wii could have gone on for longer if we're being entirely honest with ourselves. It was supremely underpowered by the time it was even went to market. But its audience, the normie market that was keeping the Wii afloat, wasn't exactly there for groundbreaking graphics anyway. It's one of the many reasons why the Wii U was a mistake. But I don't know. I think a proper 10-year cycle with overlap, that's the important thing, right? Like the PS2 was out for a while. But then it was continued to be supported well into the PS3's life cycle. There were things that it couldn't do, but it wasn't like the PS3 came out and then they immediately dropped PS2 for the new console. Like, there has to be that interim period. And we are still getting that with Switch, but I feel like that's more of a thing of the times than like a company standard or anything. Aya says, my Switch 2 complaint is like, I want a true handheld console, and the Switch was too big for me to ever really love using it as a handheld. Yeah, and the Switch 2 isn't helping that, is it? I had no issue with the Switch's size personally, but I have, well, not to put too fine up. That's the wrong button. That's the wrong button. There we go. Not to put too fine a point on it. That was a lot of effort for a dick joke. Not to put too fine a point on it, but I do have large hands. Anyway, the Switch 2, I've held it, and I'm like, this is going to take some getting used to. I would much rather play this docked. So, like, the handheld portion, in the pursuit of better graphical quality, they've kind of sacrificed what made it interesting in the first place, which was using it on the go. I will say, going back to play 3DS games, I'm like squinting at that shit. I'm like Pooh Bear in the piece of paper. I've gotten so spoiled by the Switch's screen that going back to the 3DS, it's like, geez Louise, man. It's still fun, but woof. Aya says it's heavier, and I'm just like, if I picked a TV thing, I have a TV PC now, so what's the point? Yeah. The Switch 2 is huge. It is big. It is big. Part of that is what made me really excited for the Steam machine. The Steam family of machines. Unfortunately, due to the nature of the times, everything is so fucking expensive that despite it being probably the best answer to the woes of the current console market, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere, man. I mean, it's just, the only people who are going to buy it are the ones who already have the money. And yes, you're not going to get a wide enough audience with that. It's going to be a niche product for a niche audience. And like, you know, cell phones need to be smaller and have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. I don't know if smaller is something I would agree with. I definitely miss smaller factor phones. I think smaller factor phones need to be an option. If I want to watch YouTube in 4K on the go, and I have the pockets for like a miniature tablet at that point, then then cell phones can be that, right? But like we need to have small smartphones be a thing again. That's not how everyone works, you know? I don't know. Smaller for my tiny hands. Yeah. There we go. And then I just pull back like this. I feel like we rail about how technology is not good anymore every stream. Like someone brings it up. Someone manages to bring it up. Sonic's birthday. They had a big live stream. I didn't watch it. None of the announcements really got me. Let me see what else. I have no intention of buying the new Sonic racing game. Unfortunately. Turtles were involved. Yeah, I know that much. That's because Paramount and Sega are all buddy-buddy now. Thanks to the movies. Tegan is fucking spitting. She mad. She big mad. Let me think. What else? So, they're selling a special statue collectible, which is a silver statue of Sonic with what is purported to be Sonic's DNA injected into the Chaos Emerald in the chest. And a lot of people are like, oh my god, I'm going to buy this statue so I can clone Sonic. They put Sonic's cum in the jack-off crystal. And it's like, no. That's not what that is at all. What it is actually much cheesier than anything you're probably thinking of. They took the alleles, like the portions that make up DNA, for the common alleles for the traits most associated with Sonic. So they took a common allele that could cause things to be blue. They took an allele that could cause things to be fast. And they, air quotes, created Sonic's DNA by essentially injecting those alleles into a DNA strand and then putting it in water. It's basically just water. That's all it is. Can you take the sentence back? No, I said what I said. And I'll stand by it. That is what people on the internet are joking about in response to this. So even though it's real DNA strand suspended in like a protein liquid and then injected into the statue, it is not actual genetic material that is viable. Tim Sweeney, CEO of Epic Games, made a comment about how flower pots cost $1 million to 3D model. Well, maybe in AI tokens is how much it costs, but how much could a banana cost? $10? You know? Just very out of touch. Very out of touch. Let me think. Is anything going on in TTRPG land that's, like, worth mentioning? Nothing that I've really seen. Although, and this is probably a bad idea, because they've already went on about it on Blue Sky, and now there's going to be, like, an audio equivalent that people can clip and share around, but you know what? I'll say it. You know what? I'll stand by it. So, there is a new guy on the block in regards to TTRPG hosting and sales. It is a website called, is it Free RPG Trader? Hold on. I'm going to get this right. No, it's not. Is it just RPG Trader? Where's the free coming from in my head? Hang on. Yeah. RPGtrader.com. It is an Australian-based company that has created from the ground up a website for the hosting and sale of tabletop role-playing game PDFs. But more interestingly, they have joined up with Lulu, a print-on-demand service, to essentially have the ability to order print-on-demand copies of your RPGs individually. So if I wrote a TTRPG, imagine that, I could make sure that the files were set up to be printed. And if that were the case, then there would be two options for buyers, one for just the PDF and one for the PDF and print on demand. The website would redirect them over to Lulu with my file and everything already set up to put in all of their payment information. A portion of that goes to Lulu for the production. A portion of that goes to RPG Trader for hosting, and the rest goes to me. On the surface, this is really good. This is really cool. And as of right now, I have not heard anyone have any issue with the service. I want to stress, this is not being like, here's a guy to point and laugh at, right? This is just a new guy on the block. A lot of people I know are moving over, but something about it doesn't strike me right. First of all, it is beholden to Australian law, which I know little to nothing about. I'm not Australian, I'm American. And their speech laws are a little different. One thing that people are immediately bumping into is that while they are allowed to host not safe for work content, that content cannot have any public presence with graphic imagery. So, like, if you have a game about sucking and fucking, right? Let's say you have a game about sucking and fucking. It's all you crave. You can have that game. You can host it on the website. However, all of the cover images, the descriptions, like everything that is front-facing has to meet certain standards for not having graphic material on it. So if the cover of your game has just a massive throbbing penis on it, you cannot use that cover for the front of the game store. It has to be censored, but other than that, you're fine. A number of people immediately, please tell me someone has a one-page game out there called that Suckin' and Fuckin', It's All I Crave. I'm sure something to that level exists, but I myself do not know. You have two stats, Suckin' and Fuckin'. I know some people who may be very interested in this idea. I'll pass it along. We'll see if anything comes of it. Comes. Anyway, so a number of people, specifically queer people and sex workers, were immediately concerned about that because in the US, anytime you put yourself on a list, specifically when you work in a not safe for work space, you put yourself in danger. So labeling your work as not safe for work and then not having like out in front what the game is about before people buy it, there's concern there. And I understand and agree with that concern. But again, it's working under Australian law. And from what I understand, that is standard. Like that is the line. You can sell horny shit, and you have to say, one, this is horny shit, and two, you can't have the horny shit on the cover. That is the limitation. So that kind of icked me a little bit, concerned me a bit. But I was like, that can't be it. There's something about the way this website is organized that's just rubbing me wrong. I feel something subconscious. What could it possibly be? And I'm looking at it, and this is a personal thing. This is probably very silly, but it looks like Christian artwork. The website, the artwork used, the method in which it is organized, the language which it uses triggers my religious trauma. And that's a me thing. That is not something I can or would ever expect a website to change. It just sets off my alarms, you know? And it's really funny because this is not the first time that's happened. A couple years back, I was talking in a group chat about it. There is a guy whose name I don't recall. He runs a publishing group called 10 Acre Games. Tegan goes, it's really hard to describe unless you've been in the church, but there's a certain kind of evangelical art style that was very popular during the 2000s.
Papa, you didn't tell me Alluring Allegro was coming over. I'd have prepared snacks.
Hi, Allegro. That's a wild alert system. Can we not talk about Chicago? I know where Chicago is now. It's not in Massachusetts. I have been educated. Can we please move on? I'm talking about something else now. Oh, I'm never living this the fuck down. I'm never living this down. Anyway, so there is a style of art. I can't even describe it. It's like Christian coloring book style with a certain kind of hatching for the shading and a certain kind of weight to the line art. Well, this individual who runs a group called 10 Acre Games makes a lot of stuff for Mouse Ritter. And bless their soul, at the time I didn't realize this, but they are a practicing Christian. More power to them. That's perfectly fine. My trauma is mine, has nothing to do with them. But because we have that shared upbringing, it shows in the manner in which they make their art, and therefore it shows off. No, we're not talking about Chicago. We're talking about Mouse Ritter. We're moving on. Foot down. So I would see them in Mouse Ritter circles, and I'd be like, this is really cool that this guy is going through all this effort to like support this community and this game that they like, but something about their art really rubs me the wrong way, and I can't figure it out. So I would show it to my friends, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I show it to other people that don't know what you're talking about. Show it to my sister. And she says, looks like VeggieTales art. It looks like the coloring books you used to have. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, that's it. It's triggering my religious trauma. I looked the guy up in his personal life. Yep, card-carrying Christian. There you go. Problem solved. I'm like, oh, no fucking wonder. So I laughed about that and moved on with my life. Until this RPG trader came up, and I was getting the exact same vibes. And it took me a minute to realize, like, oh my God, yeah, no, the art style, the way it's organized, it's triggering, like, religious website to me, just like the Mouse Ritter guy. Who does the art for RPG Trader anyway? Folks, the entire thing is being run by 10 Acre Games. It's the same guy! It's the same guy! The Mouse Ritter guy, whose art set me off years ago, is the same guy who's running RPGtrader.com. So no fucking wonder! No fucking wonder. Small world. I'm still on the fence on if I'll actually join, because nothing they've done is wrong. I'm just going to wait for another week or so until, like, if there's going to be any major bugs they come out of the woodwork, then I'll start transferring my games. I haven't made a game for public release in a long time. I think the last game I released, it wouldn't have been Swing. It would have been the unfinished Lasers and Feelings hack, Chaos and Control, which I should go back and do a second edition on so that it's actually like a full game. It still gets attention. And I was intending to make my main game based off of that. I was like, I'll just finish this system over here to replace it, and then it'll be great. But no, I should probably go back and actually like finish it. So it's not like I have like a massive backlog that I need to transfer over, but I still would like them to be in as many places as once, you know? Currently, I have them on itch.io. I have them on my Patreon. You can buy my games directly on my Patreon. And that's it. I briefly looked into getting some sort of online store on my main website, my blog. But that's a whole lot of thing involving payment processors, and I can't do that just yet. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. All right. The lag is real bad. Oh, God. Oh, God. I gotta make some changes to my output. I don't know what has happened, but I am dropping frames. It's about 24% so far. Let's go through half an hour and end stream now. My internet's not working for me. We'll just carry on from there. Let me see. What else has happened in my life? I'm planning on picking up my Digimon World 3 coding project again. I haven't done any, like, calm data entry stuff for a while, and after my week, soon to be 2 weeks at work for this big event, I'm going to need a project that's just, like, no thoughts, head empty, get data, type in data, press enter, there you go. But rather than fighting with Stripe, no, it's a whole thing. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. However, something that I do think I want to do, probably, let's say August. Let's say it's a fall project. I want to get back into the Donkey Kong Country hex crawl that I was working on. I think what I have to do, and this is true for all my blogging, is that I have to give myself a schedule. Last year, I tried to force myself to keep to a weekly update schedule. And when I didn't, I would berate myself over it, right? I get really upset. So this year, I said to myself, I'm only going to blog when I feel like it. Chat, how many blogs have I posted this year? We are in the middle of the fucking year. We're 6 months in. How many have I posted? You can count them on one hand. The answer is 3. I've made 3 blog posts. Because, as it turns out, not having a schedule means that I forget to fucking blog. I'll start, but then I don't have a dedicated time for it to be released, so I don't have a deadline to work towards. So that's not working either. So what I think I want to do going forward is to have a rotating release, right? Where if I don't stream, I should at least make a webcomic page. If I don't put out a webcomic page, then I should at least post a blog. If I don't post a blog, then if I streamed that week, that's okay. And just try to make sure that I'm producing something every single week, even if I'm not able to get to all of those things. Because currently, I'm not really doing good at any of those things. Granted, I've had a lot of like personal life stuff, and I've been doing a lot of streaming recently. Well, a lot of streaming. I've been streaming for long hours, 1 day a week, save for the ones that I have to miss for other reasons. So I think probably end of July, I'm going on vacation in July, so after July, I'm going to attempt to give myself some more structure to hopefully produce some more shit. Josh McCrowell, the author of His Majesty the Worm, has been working on a Middle-earth hex crawl project where he has been treating it like a writing project, a daily writing prompt, where he writes a hex a day, and then every couple of days or a couple of weeks, he'll release an update blog with all the new hexes he added in. And it's not like a big thing. He can write a hex in like 20, 30 minutes. And when he finishes writing the hexes around it, he'll go back and he'll tweak it. But making it like a regular thing he does as like an exercise and then releasing it when it's presentable, that really appeals to me. So I think for the Donkey Kong Island hex crawl, I have to do something similar. I don't think a daily writing exercise is going to be useful for me in my lifestyle, but definitely like a weekly writing exercise where if I don't blog about anything important and I can't get around making a webcomic, I should at least make a Donkey Kong Island hex and release that. Does that make sense? That is my low-key plan for the future. It does involve me having to play more Donkey Kong. Although I did play all the country games and 64 a year or two back when I first started having the idea. How long ago did I start having the Donkey Kong Island idea? Ah, well, doesn't matter. With that said, everyone, guess what we're playing next week? Because as I mentioned previously, the plan, the stream schedule is that I do 2 weeks of Cobblepods and then 1 week of something else to keep my sanity. So this week we're Cobblepodding, last week we Cobblepotted, next week, take a guess. Take a wild guess what we're playing. I'll wait. I can be patient. Did I bring my drink over here? I did not. It is very hot in this house. It's heading towards 80 degrees, actually. And that's with the aircon on. I hate Florida. I hate it so much. More Hytale. Wrong. Incorrect. I am taking a break from Hytale to play something else. We are playing Hytale modded as Sonic. Hell yeah! Let's fucking go. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. That's not a thing. That's not a thing yet. Sonic Deltarune. No. By special request, we are playing Final Fantasy VII. And by special request, I mean Mana said, "Will you please play Final Fantasy X?" And I said, yes, but only in the most obnoxious way possible. So for our off stream, we are going to play 4 to 6 hours of Final Fantasy VII, followed by 8, followed by 10. LMAO, I thought the bit was Donkey Kong. No, I mean, yes, that was the implication. I fed it to you and I tricked you. Haha. Haha. Ha 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 ha. You fell for my joke. So Mana is just thrilled that I will eventually play 10. I have promised to play 10. 7 is very interesting because of the nature of its localization. There is a fan-made retranslation mod which essentially takes the original Japanese script and translates that into English with updated titles of things that the Final Fantasy games use going forward. So instead of like Fire 1, Fire 2, and Fire 3, they're properly named Fira, Firaga, and whatever the last one was. So we're going to be playing that. Unfortunately, I mean, this is a while from now because like Final Fantasy VII, we're going to play it for a couple of streams at least. Final Fantasy VIII is just a fucking mess. Just a fucking mess of a game, and people don't have the nostalgia needed to be autistic enough to properly retranslate it from start to finish. The only translation mod that attempts to fix the script for Final Fantasy VIII, whose English translation was horrific, apparently, is a guy who, instead of learning Japanese, just wrote his own script. he like replaced all the in-game dialogue with his own fan fiction of what he thinks should happen in Final Fantasy VIII. And it's a mod that exists. You can play it if you want. But, no, I don't. Uh-oh. The server jumped. Interesting. Oh, the server undid a whole bunch of my progress just then. Oh dear, my internet is not doing well. I am so sorry if this is visually a bad experience. You do come to listen to me, not watch me, I suppose, but still. So when we play Final Fantasy VIII, it will have to be with the original script and all of the issues involved. I'm hoping that we can, like, obviously see them as we're going through. But for a lot of people, the issues with the script of 8 made the story a little nonsensical. So we're going to have to try and, like, translate what the story is supposed to be in real time. And hopefully a Final Fantasy VIII fan will show up and guide us the way, you know? Luckily, Final Fantasy X is apparently perfect. Most of its mods are all about gameplay changes for people who don't want to stop playing Final Fantasy X. Or 9, rather, not 10. I have been saying, oh my god, I said 10 like 6 times. Mana is watching the VOD and screaming like fucking, what's his name? The Breaking Bad guy in the car going, Jesse! Jesse! No, it's 9 that they want me to play. It's a fine visual experience. I'm glad it's a fine visual experience. Let me think. But yes, no, it's 9 that we're playing that Mana wants to watch me play. Jun says, it's okay. It's not as though I know the difference. You will, Jun. You will. You will. But yeah. So next week, Final Fantasy VII. We'll play for like 6 hours or so. 4 to 6 hours, depending on how hot it is. And then the following week, we'll be back to the Cobblepod. And that will be our plan going forward. Well, hey. So, who here saw the finale to the Amazing Digital Circus? Who saw that? I saw it. I didn't watch it in theaters. It was a fucking gut punch, as you could probably tell if you're in my Discord. Shout out to my Discord. We talked in the spoiler section about it for hours the day after it came out. You saw it 3 times, actually. I've only watched it the once. The next time I see it, I want it to be at the end of binging the entire series, which I plan to do once I have the Jellyfin up, so I can, like... Well, I mean, I can watch it on the go wherever I go because it's on YouTube, but you know what I mean, right? I'd rather have it streaming to my TV, if possible. And also make my wife watch it. It was really fucking good. But it was good in a way where I understand why a lot of people aren't getting it or don't like it. It's an ending. It's an ending that recontextualizes everything you've watched beforehand. I don't want to say it's bad in that it wasn't like the rest of the show. It's more like once you see the final episode and you see where the story is going, all of the choices from the episodes prior make much more sense. A lot of the interesting choices in terms of direction and what was focused on and what was ignored in the world building felt a lot like YouTube animated story jank, right? Not that they can't make a story, but more like these are not people who work in the industry. This is an auteur with a idea in their head working with a team of people on a shoestring budget to make it come into reality. So a lot of the stuff that would make you stop and go, why did they do that way? It could be waved away as just jank of the medium. But now that we know where it's going, it's like, oh, a lot of that stuff, not all of it, but a lot of that stuff was actually very intentional. Raglan wants to watch with me and Raglan, but like, I think it's just gonna be fine. I feel like my reaction to it was a lot stronger because of my experience as someone who has had gender stuff. You know? It's a really personal story that if you don't have lived experience to grapple with, it won't hit you quite as hard. You have to be going into it looking for it if you don't already have that lived experience like on lock. Tegan says, I'm worried I won't have the reaction people expect. I think you should have whatever reaction you have. And then you should listen to what the people who are reacting differently are saying to see if maybe it is not a fault of yours, but a lack of context that made you react in a certain way. If you still feel the way after hearing how other people reacted differently, then that's perfectly fine, you know? You react to media how you react, and that's all valid. Also, like, a lot of the people I see who see the ending and wish for something happier, who want everything tied up in a neat little bow, all the questions answered, all the lore explained, that's understandable considering what people thought the show was for the last like 3 years and how the people interacted with it. But now that we have the full product, it's like, oh no, it was never meant to be seen like that from the get-go. The mystery was never the point. It's about the vibes. It's about what the story is trying to tell you. There is a very specific modus operandi, which is actually said out loud by a character in episode 4 or 5, I think. And once you realize that's what the thesis is, everything else is like, oh, this was just set dressing to get to that thesis. Whereas people saw the set dressing, assumed what the show was going to be like, and went from there. Oh, I think it's just like not for me, you know? So I'm not stressed about it. That's perfectly fair. That's perfectly fair. In an absolute worst case scenario, you are going to meet interesting characters with fun and colorful designs and genuinely funny comedy. If you get to the part where they talk about their emotions a whole bunch and you don't resonate with what they're struggling with, then you have the rest of it, and that's fine. That's fine. It was very powerful for me because of my lived experience. Being raised by someone who had masculine expectations of me, being in very staunch denial and refusing to allow people to become intimate with me for fear of having to then confront the parts that I was trying to ignore. Being homeless. Not quite in the same way as depicted in the stream and the show, but still close enough. And not because I was being persecuted or run away from home or anything. No, my house burned down around me. That was slightly different. But still, like, I resonated with that, you know? I understand the feelings that come from being in that situation. So I actually mentioned this in the Discord that in another less forgiving timeline, if I hadn't had people around me and if I hadn't accepted the help of those people, Jax's story could have been bad timeline gotta. Like, not 100%, but in the same vein. I saw the end of Jax's story and saw how he destroys himself, spoilers, I guess, and realized that that could have been me. So, and because Goose is a trans woman, that makes absolute sense. It was built off of her experiences and the experience of people that she surrounds herself with. So, makes absolute sense to me that that sort of thing would exist and resonate. Overall, I liked it, but until it was done, I was still unsure of where it was going until I got to like the credits of Pomni waving goodbye, and I was like, oh, that's it. Okay. Now I have to engage with it on its terms, not with my expectations. Really makes you think. The next show that I'm planning to watch in my free time, because I'm a few episodes short of finishing Outlaw Star, I'm going to watch the 2003 Astro Boy anime. Anyone here watch Astro Boy before? You probably know like very basic stuff. But a lot of it is about like transhumanist theory, about what makes a person, how can humans and technology evolve to coexist, and just questions about like who are we, what makes us special, that sort of thing. And also he's a little boy robot who fights other robots to protect humanity, and I'm all about that shit. It's not going to be the hardest watch, but it's another one of those shows where like there is a moral it is trying to share, a thesis it has, and therefore when I'm watching it, I should try to focus on what it's saying and what it isn't saying in that moment to better engage with its intentions. So I couldn't just watch something simple, Tegan knows a thing or two about Astro Boy. Me, it's me! Yeah, Tegan? You an Astro Boy fan? I know of Astro Boy because of how important Tezuka's work is to the history of animation and just Japanese media in general. But I've never actually sat down and watched all of it. I watched like 12 episodes of the original English dub when it was airing on TV back in the 2000s. But they stopped airing it pretty quickly because like the cultural reservoir for the character wasn't there. Tegan did their senior media report on the 2000 Astro Boy, and the differences created between the dub and the sub. Whoa, do you still have a copy of that report? I would unironically love to read it. I'm planning on watching it subbed, but I do have it dubbed, so big stretch, pardon me. I never knew that. That's fascinating, Tegan. Something that I've come to accept in my old age, now that I am turning 35 this year, is the understanding that dubs and subs both have their place, and that trying to make a dub that is a one-to-one perfect recreation of the original Japanese script is very foolhardy. Not just because of how differences in languages are, because like that's a big one. There's no way you could ever get a one-to-one recreation. Even subs can't always get it right? But a dub of a show essentially is an extant third party. It is a creation of a creation, and it needs to be able to stand on its own. It's upsetting when they take creative liberties, but also a good dub, which adapts its source material as opposed to trying to just directly translate it one word into another word, are pieces of art all by themselves. And with that, I will bring up the fact that my beautiful wife and I are currently watching through Witch Hat Atelier. We are on episode 6 now, and there's only 12 in the first season. We've been watching 1 or 2 episodes a night whenever I don't have work. Because beautiful wife is like, I have to be in bed by 9. I'm tired, eepy sleepy baby. And I'm like, you are a tired, eepy sleepy baby, and you should be in bed by 9. So she'll sit on the couch and crochet, and I'll sit on the couch and I'll have my computer up doing doodads, and we will work side by side while we're watching Witch Hat Atelier. And because of the nature of our co-working, we're watching it dubbed. I'm actually really impressed with the dub. Dubbing in general has become a much better I don't want to say better because that implies that all dubs before a certain point were bad. It feels more like the people who are involved in dubbing are not just passionate, they have the technical backing up of the parent companies to actually make shows with the quality they deserve. And while there is still a lot of overlap between voice actors, where if you know a guy and you live in the right region, you're almost guaranteed to get a line on the next thing the team works on. It's not quite the same as it was back in the 4Kids days where they had like 6 voice actors max, and they all had to be very good at everything because otherwise you were just kind of shit out of luck. I don't know. I just really am enjoying the dub. It helps that Witch Hat is a good fucking show. Like, holy shit. The animation. There's 13 episodes? I thought 12 was the last. Well, barely matters. Barely matters. Dubs have improved in many regards. Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautiful Wife has been watching My Hero Academia subbed. But I've heard very good things about the dub as it is an adaptational work as opposed to a direct translation. So instead of trying to make the Japanese humor fit, they have swapped out jokes and references with proper English ones that the audience watching the dub would understand, and therefore it flows better even though it's not, The translations are smoother too, and the direction is more consistent across studios. Interesting to note. Okay, so My Beautiful Wife loves The Summer Hikaru Died. She loves The Summer Hikaru Died, the manga. Okay? The manga is about a small town, a small rural town, and the people who live in it, and a boy who comes from that small rural town who, unrelated to the supernatural shit going on, but also very related, is having a crisis of sexuality. And because he is from this small rural town, the manga gets that across because there's no way that we as English readers who do not have the knowledge of how Japanese culture works understand the implication of the small country boy from the way they talk alone. So in the manga, they give everyone a light southern accent. And the vibe is meant to be, how like in the South they're a little closed-minded? Yeah, that's the vibe here. These are people who are out in the country. They are a little removed from the rest of society, and therefore their opinions on certain topics are a little behind the times. So they have southern accents in the manga. And Jessica really vibed with that. She's like, that's a really good way of adapting it for an English audience. Unfortunately, the anime does not do this. They do not attempt to replace that subtext within their performances. And I had to explain to Jessica how the publisher of the original manga outsources the publishing and translation to a third party, which is a different team from the third party that the anime studio producers are outsourcing the adaptation of the English dubs to. So while the manga staff made this really good decision, the dub was by completely different people. So they do not have the accents. They did not have the same brain blast as whoever had the idea to do that for the manga. No, the dub doesn't have the southern accents. The manga uses like y'all and ma'am and that sort of stuff. I found it very interesting how, despite being released concurrently, they are still technically independent adaptations of a source material. One just has another layer of telephone removed from it. I remember back when I was younger, and actually some people here in chat may recall this because they were there for it. There was a discussion among my Digimon friends specifically about the absent father of Taichi and Hikari. He is seen... Oh, the music is low? Oh, so it is. How's that? Is that better? Should I raise it up some? Let's try that for a minute. But yes. In Digimon Adventure, there is a sibling pair named Taichi and Hikari, and we see their mother frequently. She is in their lives, she interacts with them. We only see their father once. And we see that father coming home from a late night out drinking, visibly sloshed, in the prequel movie. And we never see him again. We do not, that his character does not exist. Now, to an English audience, dad coming home super late, visibly drunk, he's never around, they never really mention him, that gives a very specific vibe off for someone. It's the same? Oh dear. Is it still low? I've blasted that up. Oh, I'm an idiot. The music is this one. Yes. No. This is what I'm getting at, though. So, a number of people in the English-speaking Digimon fandom, myself included, read that as potentially abusive absent father. In an anime where they spend a lot of time focusing on divorce and other issues that real children would have, it made sense to me. Until, of course, someone who actually knew anything about Japanese society raised their hand and was like, hey, so like working super long hours and being like socially required to drink after work with your boss in order to make it anywhere in this world is like normal in Japan. That subtext, which you are reading as an American with a specific lived experience, does not line up with the subtext that was being given to a Japanese audience on the same topic. And that stuck with me quite a bit, actually. I was much younger then. The music is better. Yeah, I increased the game audio instead of the right slider. That's on me. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, that's one of the reasons why I really like treating dubs as adaptations as opposed to direct translations. If I wanted direct translations where they include like Keikaku means plan notes to explain the subtext being said behind a Japanese phrase that won't translate well, I can watch that. But if I'm watching a dub, it's like, no, this is an adaptational work within the constraints of what was available to the team making the adaptation at the time it was made. So, you know. All right. It's about 4 o'clock. I am sweating like a sinner in church, and I should probably let my computer rest. So I am going to talk to you guys later. We made quite a bit of progress. I'm not gonna lie. We've done a pretty good job. I'd say we're strongly at the 1/5 mark at this point. I think we've done quite a bit. This is good shit. Yeah, and myself. Yeah, the PC tower can't shower, but I can, and Lord knows I'm going to. Let me see who I know who is streaming right now. Is there anyone I know who is currently live? Let's see. It's loading. Oh. It logged me out, because of course it did. Right. Hang on. Hang on. I really should have this up ahead of time, but I don't. I never do. All right. Twitch.tv. Reload that. Who do I know who's streaming? Have a good night. All right. Bye, everyone. Goodbye. No, I do need so much more stone. I will get it off screen. I will. Okay. Well, Twitch doesn't want me to log in, so I don't know who's streaming. So we're just gonna go. Goodbye, everyone. I'll see you next week for Final Fantasy VII. So long. Bye-bye.